It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
In World War I, American fighter pilots covering a plane's rear position coined the phrase, "I've got your 6," to mean I've got your back. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org using the number 6.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I named my boat Sure Don't. Get it? The other day when my friend said, "Hey Larry, you want to head back in? It looks like it might rain." I said, "Sure don't." I guess they didn't get it because they didn't laugh.
Whatever you call your boat, protected by insuring it with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at richielaw.com.
Hunger lives in neighborhoods all around us, but it doesn't have to. Together, we can provide 1 billion meals by 2030, because everyone should be welcome at the table. Learn more at nourishingneighbors.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We'll keep dry conditions and plenty of sunshine through the rest of the day today. Highs reaching the mid-80s, some upper 80s mixed in. Mostly clear overnight, temperatures in the mid-60s by Saturday morning. Isolated showers are possible for your Saturday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 120 points to 45,516.
Surveys the landscape, tucks and runs, off right side, lead blocker ahead, touchdown at the 5, he breaks the tackle, touchdown, C.J. Bailey! Turns and gives to Smothers, plunges behind his blocker, leans in, off left side, touchdown! 2-yard Hollywood Smothers plunge. Play fake now after the snap, rifles it right seam in stride, Grimes has it, 5, touchdown! Snap, Hauser, play fake, drops back, caught by Riles, he's stuffed! He is stuffed short, and the Pack should win the game!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox here producing the show. We have been waiting for months for football season to get here. One game in, State fans are like, what were we waiting for?
Yeah, there was a lot of that leaving the stadium yesterday.
I know it's a win. By the way, through 3 quarters, Duke fans were probably saying, is this what we were waiting for? Football has a way of bringing it back down to earth real quickly. And we do want to hear from those fans. So at 4:20, so a little less than an hour and a half from now, about an hour and 20 minutes from now, we're going to open up the phone lines. It's traditionally a Monday sound-off, but with Thursday games, we'll add in a Friday sound-off. Friday sound-off, phone lines open for your reactions to everything going on in sports, including last night's college football. That'll be at 4:20. Phone number to bookmark. Don't call in now, but you can keep it saved. 919-860-5326. Now let's start with the big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
NC State ECU. Like I said, that's what everybody was waiting for. Oh, it's a long summer. Let's get to the game. You get to the game. You get up 17-0. Wait a second. Wait a minute. How does ECU have the ball with 2 minutes left? 1st and 10 at the 18, driving for the tie. We were up 17-0. We were up 24-7. And 5 minutes left in the third quarter, 24-7. That's what State fans are yelling. It's a lot of the same old. Dave Doeren and that program talk a big game about hard-nosed and tough and all of those buzzwords that they love, but when it comes time to stomp on the opponent's heart, they rarely do. When it comes time to metaphorically grab the throat of your opponent, they rarely do. 17-0 in the first half. 24-7 with 5 minutes to play in the third quarter. Both of those felt like, okay, it should be over, slam the door. Yet somehow, 7-point game, ECU, 1st and 10 at the State 18 with plenty of time on the clock. And you're looking around going, how'd you get here? At one point in time, NC State led in what was it, total yards by 225, and they only had 210 because ECU was negative 15. And it was a one-score game, and they had the ball, 1st and 10 at the 18. Had to miss a kick. Or go for it on 4th, I should say. It was State missing the kicks. Went for it on 4th, ended up getting stopped. It is unfulfilling. It is unsatisfying. It is a win. But here's the thing. I'm not going to do what we did last year after Western Carolina, where you explain away why you would look so underwhelming in game 1. Because the idea would be a scare against an overmatched opponent, or a scare after starting a game hot and then letting them back in would wake you up and you would be a different team moving forward. You would learn your lesson. Last year they didn't do that, so we can't assume they're going to do it this year. I actually thought the first drive of the game for State was a perfect microcosm for the entire game. First drive, obviously talented, right? Plays by their stars. C.J. Bailey looked good, methodically brought the ball down deep into the red zone. What happens when it's deep in the red zone? It's step on your throat time. It's punch it in the end zone time. It's want it more than the other team time. And what happens? Dumb penalty, 15 yards, move it back, longer field goal, settle for the field goal, make the field goal. I guess it's good enough. Got points. But it's not really good enough, right? That's the whole game. That's the whole game. Starts off good, 17-0, 24-7. Everybody's good. But when it's step on the throat time, a couple mental errors, a couple missed kicks, escape with the win. Still a win. It's good enough, right? Not really. If you just watched the first drive of the game for State and then took those emotions and dragged it out over like 2-3 more hours, there it is. That's the entire game. There's a lot to break down there, and we do want to hear from you during Friday Sound Off at 4:20 on that game. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Duke versus Elon. Now, Duke won by a considerable margin, okay? The final score does not indicate how this game actually was played. If you're just a box score watcher, or you went to, say, the State game and you just came home and checked the score, 45-7 final score, you're thinking, Duke ran all over them. 45-17, I should say, not 7. Duke ran all over him, bullied him. Oh, no. That's not the case either. It was a one-score game very late in that game. 24-7 in the fourth quarter. How about this for a little stat, right? The reports are out there that Darien Mensah makes about $4 million, quarterback for Duke. I'm not 100% sure if you tallied up the earnings of the entire staff and roster for Elon, if they're making $4 million. And that I'm including like trainers. I'm including a lot of people in that. It was tied at halftime, 10-10. And even more confusing, Darien Mensah was playing well. When your quarterback throws for 383 yards and it's halfway through the third quarter and there's multiple bad drops in the first half and he has 2 touchdowns and through the air had not put the ball in harm's way at all, and you're up by 7 on a FCS opponent, you have to work pretty hard to not capitalize on all that production. And then somehow he throws for 6 more yards the rest of the way, and you end up winning 45-17. So a long punt return, you get the 60-yard run from Castle. There's some things that led to some easy points, but there's a lot to like and a lot to go, how did that end up happening with Duke? It's a what am I looking for? A conundrum, it's a riddle. That's what I'm looking for. It's a riddle. How in the world do you out-produce a team 548 total yards to 275 total yards and be ahead just 24-17 in the fourth quarter? It's a riddle. I feel like the Joker. We'll break it down. But yes, Darien Mensah he looked the part. I'm impressed. That's number 2. Let's round it out with number 1.
Number 3.
That's number 2. Let's round it out with number 3. It's a Friday. UNC TCU on Monday. We still have more. Matter of fact, there's a ton more. There's Wake Forest tonight. There's Texas Ohio State tomorrow. There's Miami Notre Dame the next day, and amongst many other games. But on Monday, there's just one. There's only one FBS game on Monday. There were 17 last night. It's a Thursday. 17 FBS games last night. There's one on Monday. There's going to be a couple of eyeballs on Bill Belichick's college debut when UNC takes on TCU. What does Nick Saban think? His old boss, right? Because when they were on the same staff in Cleveland, when Bill Belichick was the head coach, what does Nick Saban think about his old boss's debut in college and what his team's going to look like? Well, Saban told the Pat McAfee show earlier today.
They've got 70 new players at North Carolina on their roster. You know, Bill is a great coach, he's a great teacher, and he's great at developing players. So if you have that many new players, you really don't have a chance to develop them. So, you know, my expectation is it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, and he's going to make all these players better, and they're going to benefit and create more value for their future because of Bill. But it's going to take a little time. So, and I think everybody should understand that.
You know what is the perfect coach to understand that things are going to take a bit of time? How about the 74-year-old, 73-year-old, whatever he is, oldest coach in college football? Yeah, give him 5 years. He'll turn the program around. That's not what he's saying. Putting little words in his mouth. But it is, at times, what college coaches hide behind. Oh, I'm all about improving the players. I'm all about developing the players. I measure success by how much my players are progressing as the season goes along. Meanwhile, all of the donors, all of the fans, everyone on the outside, the College Football Playoff Committee, the rankings, the pollsters, they're all like, we measure by wins. Happy that your backups are getting better, coach. But if you aren't winning, we aren't paying attention. Here's what I'm looking forward to on Monday. Holiday, right? Off. You're going to be able to sit back, kick back, watch a game. Some of the mystery of UNC is going to be revealed. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm just watching with notes. I'm going in with very, very, very little preconceived assumptions about UNC. I'm going in with, I wonder what this is going to look like. Actually, you know what I'm going to call the Monday game, the UNC TCU game?
Want to label this?
I'm going to label it. It's a dentist movie. Do you know why?
A dentist movie?
A dentist movie. You. It's named in honor of you.
Oh, okay. All right. Go on.
Because around the office, I'm a big movie guy.
Yeah, likewise.
I also have 2 kids at home and don't get to go to the movies very often. So I've become a big movie trailers guy, right? When a movie trailer drops, I watch the trailer. And then I have a better idea if it's one, like, because sometimes I got to move mountains to watch like a full 2-hour movie, right? I got to stay up late after the kids go to sleep on a streamer. I got to get a babysitter to go to whatever it is. So I'm a big movie trailer guy. And every time I say, like, oh, this trailer dropped, what does Dennis say?
Not going to watch it.
He doesn't watch trailers.
No.
He wants to go into the movie blank slate, no assumptions. He knows, like, maybe a couple actors and actresses and the title, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Especially for movies I know I definitely want to see.
That's what I'm doing on Monday. Yeah, sure, I know some of the main characters. I know Belichick. I know Sonny Dikes, the coach of TCU. I know Hoover and Lopez, the quarterbacks. But I'm not going to assume I know a darn thing about the plot. I haven't seen a darn thing in a movie trailer. I'm going in, grabbing my popcorn, and I'm just watching and learning.
All right.
If they don't have the slides at the beginning of the movie that give me background, there once was a universe. If we're not getting that, I'm not going to know anything until a character tells me. If you tell me Jordan Shipp's a great wide receiver, which everybody is telling me, well, I'm going to have to see him make a great wide receiver play to know that. If you tell me Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick and Brian Belichick are going to scheme up a pro-style defense, all right. But guess what? I'm not going to believe it until on Monday night I see TCU getting twisted up into a pretzel by a pro-style defense. I'm going in with a dentist movie. No trailers. All I know is the title. It's TCU, UNC, Monday night. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the big 3 at 3. Coming up next, NC State, ECU, closer than State fans would like. What does it say about Dave Doeren? Stick around.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50. Add any size Sprite for $1.49. Price of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, if you have struggled with your weight like I have over the last few years, you definitely need to listen to this. I can proudly say that I have lost over 25 pounds in the last 4 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. That's real talk. Over 25 pounds in 4 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's not just the weight that's come off. My body fat percentage has dropped. I'm sleeping better at night. My resting heart rate is the best it's been since I was back in college. That's how good things have gotten thanks to the weight I've lost, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can also be part of that as well. No shots, no injections, no side effects, just your body resetting its metabolism and doing the natural thing. And Raleigh Weight Loss Center right now is having a huge end of summer offering, up to 20% off now through August 29th with the lowest prices of the year on the amazing Raleigh Weight Loss program. Schedule your free consultation by calling 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506 or online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Ever ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply. In-app only.
Snap to Bailey, play fake to Smothers. Deep drop, plants the foot, pats the ball, airs it out, center of the field. Leaping grab is made at the 20. Unbelievable Wesley Grimes.
This offseason showed me a lot from Wes. Yeah, he grinded, he worked hard, especially when it was coming to our time with throwing in the offseason. He worked really hard to be what he did today. So I really expected it from him because he's a senior. He's one of our leaders too.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. NC State held on. Beat East Carolina 24-17. They are 1-0. CJ Bailey, their rising sophomore quarterback, returning starter, threw for 318 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 interception through the air. Also ran for a touchdown. Wesley Grimes, breakout potential as a wide receiver. 2 highlights right off the top. One, the long touchdown, speed. The other, the deep ball down the middle with safety on either side of him, going contested catch style. A little bit of power, a little bit of athleticism, ball skills. Really good day for some NC State players. As a team, it was 3 games. It was 3 different games is the way I look at it. Game number 1, or periods, sections, I don't know, not 3 different games. The first section, first quarter. Good. Not perfect, but the entire time, obviously, the best team on the field. The talent was obvious. You're looking at it going, it makes sense that they're up 17-0 here shortly, right? It makes sense that this team was favored by 2 touchdowns. It just looked like a team that, even though they had their early jitters, good. I'm giving you a solid grade.
ECU didn't get their first down until 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second quarter.
Defense looked really good. CJ Bailey looked really good. Couple of dots, dimes, if you will. Then there was the middle section, which was the second and third quarter. To me, that's just missed opportunities. That period, you're treading water and not making up ground when it would have only taken you a little ground to make up in order to take the will of ECU. ECU's running game was dunzo. You were bottling them up. They had nothing. And when that's happening, remind them of it. Bully them. That's when you win games by 50, right? When you have the opportunity to put another touchdown on the board, to make it a 3-score game, that's when a game goes from 17-0 to 50-3. Like, that's when it happens, and they just never took that step. So because of that, they entered into the third section of the game, the fourth quarter, which I call holding on for dear life. That one, you're a boxer at the end of a round just screaming, "Bell, bell, where's the bell?" By that point, because you weren't stepping on their throat in the second and third quarter, ECU had found out what worked. They stumbled into it, right? They wanted to establish the run. They wanted to be a balanced offense. They got down early, and suddenly they're like, all right, we have to pick up the tempo, and we have to sling the rock. And then NC State's defense was like, oh, no, the one thing we can't stop, tempo and slinging the rock. By the fourth quarter, ECU had it, right? Caden Hauser, by the way, played a good game. Caden Hauser was slinging it. It was not just bad defense. There were certain seams, there were certain deep balls that he put it, even if there was great defense, better offense. Mental errors, like taking a bad sack when you're down in field goal range, making it a longer field goal, now it's a miss. That stuff almost costed you. ECU had their rhythm. You were holding on for dear life. It almost cost you the game. From a defensive perspective, too conservative too early, and it's been said so many times. New defensive coordinator, same thing after game 1. Too conservative, too early. I brought up that ECU couldn't run the ball. What, they have like 30 carries, 29 yards, 29 carries, 30 yards?
Yeah, it wasn't much.
They're basically a yard a carry. So what did they do? They took their corners, their defensive backs, started playing them real soft, and ECU started using that as their run game. I'm going to catch, I call them now screens, right? The wide receiver doesn't run around, he just turns and looks at you, and right now the ball's coming his way. Quarterback doesn't even have to grab the laces. Just boom, ball out. And he would catch the ball. There would be 7 yards between him and the corner because the corner started 8 or 9 yards off and hesitated before flying up. Catches the ball, falls forward 4 or 5 yards. That's a dive. Now it's 2nd and 5. And you didn't have to go into the middle and run between the tackles where you're getting bullied. You just got the same impact. And you're making NC State continue to make tackles in the open field, which are always, even if you have the most sure tackling defensive backs in the world, there's a chance that someone spins away and it becomes a much bigger play. Tempo. The long touchdown. You got caught with 7 different dudes. They were in a line change. It's not hockey.
Yeah, that's the thing. They got a sack, which was a great play. Put them at 3rd and long, and they're celebrating. They're, like you said, they're making a change, and ECU recognized it, jumped right on the ball, took advantage of them right there. Big play.
the tempo became a thing the entire time. Tiring them out. And the defense played well, but in a game like that where you should have won by a bunch and you don't, you're not combing through for the positives, you're combing through for the negatives. And then the offense. The most frustrating part of the offense was the obvious talent.
Oh, it's insane how good the talent is there.
Talking specifically about the quarterback and the guy the quarterback is getting the ball to.
Yeah.
The guys the quarterback is getting the ball to. At different times, Hollywood Smothers, Justin Jolie, Duke Scott. First of all, let's talk Teddy Hoffman, the freshman. Yeah. Heck of a debut. Not sure where your career goes from here. You're one up in yourself. It's going to be a tough one. Terrell Anderson. We brought up Wesley Grimes. They all have something to them. They've all got some kind of playmaking ability.
Rogers made a couple good catches.
Noah
Unfortunately,
Rogers
got hurt, but yeah.
Should have added him in there. They all had a little something to them. I will say the offensive line has me a bit worried. Weren't really able to open up holes in the run game, and if you're not able to do that against ECU, I get very nervous against some of the defensive lines in the ACC. But still, you watched the offense, and you just felt a big play is going to happen, and it very rarely did. You'd get Smothers, he'd make a guy miss, it'd be one-on-one in the
ankle tackle.
Mm-hmm. You'd have a unbelievable throw from C.J. Bailey, or you'd have a 46, 45-yard completion, and somehow you'd leave the drive with no points. No points. Long field goals, right? You have the long one. It was down the right sideline. You get the completions at the 30-yard line. You end up attempting a 46-yard field goal.
Yeah, that's the thing. They got conservative because it was that long pass to Hoffman. I think it was about 50
Yeah,
yards.
Hoffman down the right sideline. Great body control, keeps his feet in bounds. It's at the 30, and you're thinking, all right, we're 10 yards away from an easy field goal. That's what you're thinking,
yeah.
right? Those are the mini goals of a drive. Let's get into safe field goal range. Then we start thinking count by sevens, get in the end zone. They don't move the ball at all. They kick a field goal essentially with the ball in the 30. A 46-yard field goal would be from the 29-yard line. So you get 3 plays. 2 of them are C.J. Bailey draws, not the most creative play calling in the world.
Especially when it was like 3rd and 11. I was like, really?
You're just playing for a closer field goal. It's when you have the talent, use the talent. Right? That's the frustrating part. That offense, especially with the way C.J. Bailey was slinging it, especially with the way some of the position guys were popping, like making plays that made you go, something there. 24 points is unacceptable. For how many big plays they got. Look at the numbers, right? Coaches will tell you this. Defensive coordinators will tell you this. If you have a play over 30 yards in a drive, your percentage of getting points, your percentages of scoring touchdowns go through the roof. It's almost difficult to have multiple drives where we have a 45-yard or more play and you don't score any points. And I know missed field goals are a part of it, but if you have a field goal kicker that you're not super confident in, nearing a 50-yard field goal is not easy. And then the other part that's frustrating about all of it is I acknowledge, we talked about it before the show yesterday. We have the receipts. You can go look it up. We talked about ECU, and I said we don't know much, right? Because they were switching out so much of the transfer portal and new wide receivers in, old wide receivers out, and all of these things. But we talked about them last year. Didn't have much of a run game to speak of, but when Caden Hauser decided to sling it, that's when their team figured it out. And he had great stats over the second half of the season once he took over, and that's all we knew, right? That's all we knew. It played out exactly like the one thing we knew about ECU. They didn't have much of a run game to speak of, but when Hauser started slinging it is when they got their most dangerous, and once they were dangerous, they felt that danger.
Yeah, like you said, once they got the up-tempo offense going and Hauser was getting in that rhythm, now it took him until the middle of the second quarter to finally get the first down, but once they started clicking, it's like, oh, this offense is grooving right now.
And there was no counterpunch from NC State. From that point on, they were effective moving the ball. I know they didn't score a bunch of points, but they were effective moving the ball through the air from that point on. That is sometimes, I would say, and I probably said this last year if you go back and look, after an ugly game 1 like that, but you get the win, Sometimes I say that's a good thing because I always say it's easier to coach after a loss because everybody's laser focused. Coach, tell me what we did wrong. I never want to feel that way again, right? Coaches always say if I could bottle the taste in your mouth after a bad loss, they'd be the best coach in the world, right? Because before every workout, before every conditioning run, you just give them a swig of the feeling in the locker room after you lost a game you shouldn't, and you're going to work as hard as you possibly can. Sometimes a game like this or a game like Western Carolina last year, you kind of get that effect, and you don't actually have to lose the game, right? You get the W in the win column, you get the tally in the win column, but you get the focus and the rejuvenated energy of a loss. I'm not going to say that this year for State because it didn't happen last year for State. I hope it happens. I'm just not sure it does. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If you have thoughts on Dave Doeren, on NC State, on the quarterback, on the defense, on any of it, 420 right here on 99.9 The Fan. We are opening up the phone lines. So less than an hour from now, we will open up the phone lines, and we want to hear from you. You can write down the number now so you don't forget it, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Keep it in mind, next hour, we're opening up the phone lines for you.
And the YouTube live chat already off.
Get in there and defend your point.
Oh, yeah.
Get in there and get in the mix. I encourage you. It's a little intimidating. There are some people that are pretty passionate, but I promise you, they won't bite. Dean's List coming up next right here on The Drive.
Things today can seem kind of unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive the guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
At Howard Hanna Allen Tate Real Estate, you'll find the same family-owned real estate company you've trusted since 1957. But now they're bigger, better, brighter. They have more agents and more resources, which means more exposure to sell your home. Their proven expertise and innovative tools will help you find the right home around the corner or across the globe. And they invest in our local communities. Their promise to you is a homeownership experience that is different from all others. Visit howardhannatate.com to get started.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10 by 10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the shotgun, Mensah the handoff to Moore. Running left, cuts inside, across the 25, angles right. Moore is loose. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Jacquez Moore takes it home from 32.
It's game time. Gotta get bands in
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Spend a couple racks just to say time.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time.
We have the Georgia Tech game on 99.9 The Fan tonight. Who's Georgia Tech playing? I know it's Georgia Tech because I'm going to see some Haynes King. Here's some Haynes King on our airwaves. Buffalo. So you get Dion and Haynes King.
Oh, there you go.
Equal stars.
Colorado?
What did I say?
You said Buffalo.
Oh, Colorado Buffaloes
okay.
Is what I was getting at there. I've been speaking wrong all day today. I'm so wired for football.
We had a late light last night.
We had a late light last night.
Yep.
Late night?
Yep.
Yeah, we're just going to misspeak all day today because it was a late night and we are jacked up for football season. But Georgia Tech, Colorado Buffaloes. You can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan. And we have the biggest games all weekend, right? We have the Ohio State Texas game tomorrow, South Carolina Virginia Tech an afternoon game. We have the Miami Notre Dame game on 99.9 The Fan, and then of course on Monday there'll be TCU UNC.
All here on The Fan.
All of them. It's the spot. All right. Right now here on The Fan we have the Dean's List. Let's light it up. Classes in session, honoring those in the college sports world that deserve a little extra praise. I'm starting with Roseville High School's very own Byron Brown, quarterback, USF, South Florida. The of all, they lit up Boise State. Turns out Ashton Genty was doing a lot of work for Boise State last year. 34-7, the win for USF, South Florida. Brown finished 16 of 24 for 210 yards through the air, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Did have 14 carries for 43 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. But this one ain't about the stats, everybody. He makes the Dean's List for the highlights. If you haven't done so yet, if they haven't come across your purview as of yet, check it out. Man amongst boys style runs from Byron Brown for South Florida.
He's a big dude, by the way.
Big dude. And he does the things that we all kind of dreamed we would be athletic enough to do, where he'll run around the edge one time, lower his shoulder, and run over a guy. And then the next time he'll be running around the edge and he'll fake like just a little shoulder jab like he's going to run over the guy. And then, and then he just runs by him. And it's like, oh, that's the whole thing, right? That's it all. It was just really fun to watch the highlights, to be real. And then they smoked Boise, which is good as well. I'm throwing 2 wide receivers from the 2 local games that we covered on the Dean's List. Wesley Grimes and Samir Hagans. Wesley Grimes from NC State, Hagans from Duke. For this reason, one of the beauties of week 1 is we don't know who's leveled up, right? So we can talk about these wide receiver groups. We can talk about the position rankings and everything else. And talk about for State, Noah Rogers, and we can talk about Justin Jolie, and we can talk about all the. Wesley Grimes was the best wide receiver on the field. And then over at Duke, right, it's like, ooh, these new Cooper Barkate, the FCS All-American, and Drell Anthony, the Michigan/Oklahoma transfer, and cute Quayshawn Brown. We know he's got juice. And then Hagans is like, watch this, even though he did have a drop. He also made a bunch of big plays, made some tough catches, caught a touchdown. Like to see that. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers?
Well, I actually was going to mention Byron Brown.
Okay.
So that was actually one on. And you actually just mentioned another guy I was going to bring up, Quayshawn Brown. I think Quayshawn Brown had a really solid day yesterday for Duke. Had another touchdown as well yesterday. Again, I think just overall really good day for him. Which, by the way, another guy from the state of North Carolina, because he's from the Triad, from out in there in Winston. But believe it or not, he's undersized guy. He's only 5'7".
I mean, the 78-yard punt return
was
a lot of breathing room for Duke. There was a lot of, okay, all right, we're good. All right. That was fun. That was funny. All right, guys, don't do that to me again.
Yeah, but 6 catches, 93 yards, and like you said, the punt return for a touchdown as well. So, yeah, big day for him.
You know who else makes the Dean's List?
Who's that?
Nick Minicucci.
Who?
Nick Minicucci. I think I'm pronouncing that right.
I hope you are.
251 yards, 3 touchdowns in the air, 44 yards and a touchdown on the ground to lead the Delaware Blue Hens to their first FBS win. Our first FBS win. Actually, it was over an FCS team, but as an FBS team, beat Deshaun Jackson's coached Delaware State Hornets 35-17. Nick Minicucci, baby. Heck of a name, also. Heck of a name. Had to give some love to my Blue Hens. Last group I have here for the Dean's List, and it actually plays off of what you said, and kind of plays off to, you'll see.
Okay.
Special teams. Special teams gets the Dean's List. So look at the 2 teams that we've covered extensively today. NC State and Duke. Both find themselves in a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, right? Against teams that they were heavily favored to beat. Duke gets a punt return for a touchdown by Quayshawn Brown, we brought up. They win by $1 billion, right? We're at 45-17. And it looks great, and it's a resume-boosting win, and it passes the style points eye test for whoever that needs that sort of thing. Special teams played a big part of it. State, on the other side, misses 2 field goals, ends up sweating out a nail-biter all the way down to the last minute of the game, having to get a stop in their own red zone. Special teams shows their worth. Special teams, starters are starters. That's what my coach used to tell me when I was a holder and I wasn't playing quarterback. Hey, special team starters are starters. I'm like, not true, but thanks, coach. And by the way, just to bring up holding, Dennis and I did a deep dive this morning. Those of you that are ferociously angry at the kicker for NC State for missing those 2 kicks, without any insider knowledge, haven't talked to anybody, we are hypothesizing that there may have been something up with the hold on the second missed kick. First kick looked like a great hold, hooked it, just a short-armed it, I guess, short-legged it, just an absolute hook. Second missed kick, though, it did. Dennis said he saw them, and I didn't notice this, having some kind of conversation right after, so we went back and looked. He may have missed his spot, may have been a late rotation, meaning he spun the ball late to get the laces out. Laces out, Dan. May have spun it a little late, may have been enough to get the kicker off. It's not a full excuse, but, you know, special team starters are starters, even the holder.
Margin of error is that small.
Didn't end up costing you a win this time, but it cost you some sweat. Cost you some gray hairs, probably. So special teams. You make the Dean's List because we all know how important you are. If you're going to be a part of the game, you're going to be a big part of the game. I may have advocated to get rid of kickers in the past, but that's a bigger fantasy. If it's going to be a part of the game, make it part of the game. I just think it's weird that at the end of games, it's like these 250, 225, 4-4 running, 4-3 running modern gladiators have battled physically over an entire afternoon and laid their bodies on the line, and it's all going to come down to the 5'7", flexible 160-pounder who's jogged onto the field 3 times today. That's who's going to decide this whole thing? Yep, that's who's going to decide it. Don't worry, though. He's been stretching. Kicking into a net off to the side by himself. It's a weird part of the game. But if it's going to be a part of the game, you better make sure you're on top of it, or else it can cost you. And it almost cost NC State last night. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dismissed the Dean's List there. And the special teams ended up being a spark that, like I said, it made Duke's win look a lot better in the end. We dive into Duke versus Elon. What did Manny Diaz, the head coach, think of the contest? We have audio for you next.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles bird dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles chicken supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Second and goal off the 15. Here comes pressure. Lost it to the left. Higgins got it! Touchdown! Spinning his way in for his first score of the season.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Duke started off their season with a final score victory over Elon of 45-17. I'm going to use a football cliche here because it fits. The final score is not indicative of how that game was played. It was 10-10 at half, tied 10 apiece at halftime. 24-17 early in the fourth quarter, a one-score game. Final score does not show how much of a problem Elon was for Duke. But that also doesn't mean Duke didn't do anything well. Matter of fact, Duke did a lot of things well. I watched the film today, came away wildly impressed with Darien Mensah. Let's hear what Manny Diaz had to say about his team. Obviously, you would think if they're tied at half against an FCS opponent, having to make tweaks on the fly during the game. Here's the coach of the Blue Devils.
There's only one thing we could accomplish tonight, and that's winning the football game, and that's exactly what we did. It was I would say a nervy start to the game. We felt a little edgy, and it took us a while to settle down. I think you have to give Elon a lot of credit, what we talked about in terms of not knowing a lot about their personnel or their schemes. I think they had us chasing shadows a little bit defensively early in the game, that we had to come in at halftime and really dial in on what they were doing. And I thought we made really good adjustments defensively, came out, got the stops, went touchdown to start the second half. And from that point on, really exerted control in the game. And then to get a score on special teams was really kind of the final blow that put the game away.
I'm going to even speak more specifically on how those adjustments showed themselves, because in some ways they were pretty dramatic. There was a 3rd and 20 first half. So Elon has the ball, and they have a 3rd and 20 yards to go. Most of the time in 3rd and 20, especially if you're the overmatched team, your offensive coordinator dials up a gimme play. Just try to. They're going to play soft. Let's get 10 yards, help our punter out a little bit. Try to play the field position game. Let's call a screen. Let's do something. And that's exactly what they did. They were in a little misdirection run play, almost a draw run play. And guess what? Thomas Jr., the running back for Elon, who had, I think, he finished with 46 yards rushing, had 44 of them on that run. He converts the 3rd and 20. Yuck. That's. If you want something to absolutely make defensive coordinators use words that they said they would never use to teenagers, have a 3rd and 20 be given up on a run play. Especially where there's 3 guys that have him dead to rights, and he just makes them miss. There's 3 open field missed tackles on Elon's running back. But guess what? There were 2 third downs later in the game that I'm watching, and I'm watching back, and I'm going, all right, let's see what they do here. And they ran nearly the exact same play call. Nearly the exact same play call, and guess what? Neither made it back to the line of scrimmage. Now, they weren't 3rd and 20, so you weren't playing as soft. One was a 3rd and 6. I think one was a 3rd and 12. But still, the Elon coaches said, hey, this is one of the few things that has worked tonight. Let's go back to it. And that time, Duke was waiting for it. That's an adjustment, right? Whatever the missed assignment was, it wasn't missed. Or whatever the tackle missed was, it wasn't missed the next time. Then there's another one that's difficult to explain. The fumble. Okay? I'm going to explain to you. You never know exactly what's going on a playbook, right? Which is why it's so hard for people that come out and like grade offensive linemen, because I'm going, you have no idea who was his responsibility to block. He may have done his job perfectly, and you thought his man got the sack, so now you're giving him an F. Like, it's so hard to grade offensive linemen. But usually, when I go back and watch the tape, just knowing basic concepts of run blocking or basic concepts of pass protection, you can figure out, if not whose fault it was, where the malfunction is, right? These two guys miscommunicated. I watched the fumble where Darien Mensah put the ball in the belly with some kind of a read keep, some kind of an option, put the ball in the belly of Moore, and then an Elon defender is on top of them before the mesh is even done, and there's the fumble recovered by Elon. It's a red zone fumble by Duke, so it takes points off the board. It's a big deal. And I went back and watched it a bunch of times. Multiple angles. Stop, start, stop, start. I know there's a pretty significant missed assignment on the play. Up front, probably, but it also might be the backfield going in the wrong direction, but even that wouldn't make a ton of sense. There were two guys unblocked, and there was only one read, which makes it very difficult. So let's just say this. A team with a new quarterback on the first game of the year had a pretty blatant missed assignment that led to a crucial turnover. Crazier things have happened, right? Those are the things that you almost bake into a game one. You do everything you can to eliminate them, but you bake that in, and you try not to let it affect the rest of your game, right? That's one where you go up to the quarterback, right? If you're the offensive coordinator, you explain what went wrong, right? So-and-so heard a Ralph call, you gave a Louis call, so the line split in different directions. We got to make sure we tighten that up, whatever it is. Then you tap them on the shoulder, you say, get ready, you're going back out there after they get this stop on third down. Like, it's a nothing burger, even though it's a huge play in the game, as long as you don't let one mistake become two mistakes, become three mistakes, because you get rattled. Which leads me to, there are two things that impressed me most about Darien Mensah. Darien Mensah, the $4 million man, to say the least, I was going into that game with a magnifying glass on Darien Mensah when I rewatched it this morning. All right, let's see where this $4 million is being spent. Two things impressed me immensely. One, very tangible. One, pure intangible. We'll go intangible first. His poise is bananas. He was playing well and getting nothing for it. Throws a touchdown, pass dropped. Another good ball dropped. Has 380 passing yards through halfway through the third quarter. And he's in a game with Elon. This is one of the top transfers in the entire country. A quarterback that was deciding between multi-million-dollar offers where he wants to go. He chose Duke. He's playing pretty darn well. And they're in a game against an FCS team.
At over 200 yards passing at halftime.
And it was tied 10-10 against
something's
Elon.
Not right here.
And at no point in time did it look like he went like, what the heck's going on here, guys? He never gave the look of like, help me out here, guys. Never sped up on a play, never pressed, which I thought was wildly impressive, because how do you not? Right? How do you not try to throw the 21-point play? Right? How do you not go, I'm going to make this a blowout right now? He just kept making good decisions, kept throwing different arm angles, kept doing what he was coached up to do. That's one thing that really impressed me about Darien Mensah. And I wanted Fultz, right? $4 million from Tulane. I don't even say I wanted Fultz is the wrong way to put it, but I was like challenging myself to find the things that aren't complete. Second thing I'm most impressed by, his ball placement is elite. Right? There's accurate, which is throwing catchable balls, right? Giving your receivers a chance, making good decisions, all of those things. Darien Mensah's ball placement is the correct shoulder, right? It's if there's a defensive player on your guy's back left, he's putting it low and right, so if they're going to get their hand on it, you're going to have to go completely through the offensive player and draw the flag. Over the shoulder on deep balls feathers in nicely. If the receiver is on the move, he's putting it, a 1.5 foot in front of your chest so you can catch it running and set yourself up for yards after the catch. And he's doing it on the little bubbles as well as downfield throws. Right? There's kind of two ways or two levels of accuracy for quarterbacks. Every quarterback is judged by, we'll call it level 1, which is, are you throwing catchable balls? Right? Are you giving your receiver a chance? If it's incomplete, they're going to call it a drop, right? You have to do that more often than not, especially if the receiver's open. And if not, you're not going to keep your job very long. And then there's the level above that for the guys that are going to try to complete 70% of their passes in a year. And that level is like, we used to always say, we used to play the game, right? For those of you that are aspiring quarterbacks out there, here's the game, right? Because you're just going to play a lot of catch growing up. You're just going to be back and forth. All right, take 5 steps back. Now we're throwing 20 yards. 5 steps back. Now we're throwing 25 yards. And you're just going to play a lot of catch. Get your 150, 200 throws in a day. It used to be the chest, 1 point. The head, 2 points. And if you wanted to call your shot, you could call something specific. The Nike logo on your chest, right? Right pocket. And if you hit those, 3 points. But then if you hit the chest and you were calling for like right pocket, you got nothing. It was a whole game, right? It's about throwing. Most quarterbacks are judged on, are you hitting the chest or the head, right? Are you in the right vicinity? Darien Mensah was going out there saying, like, if he's throwing it to a guy who's number 18, the top circle on your 8, boom, ball placement was on point. And then there's this other thing about the Duke game, which is your dominance on the field has to find a way to lead to dominance on the scoreboard. You can't be beating Elon in darn near every statistic. And I know they were close in rushing yards, but it took Elon 1 billion more carries to get there. Their yards per carry, not the same at all. When you are dominating on darn near every single stat, you have to be dominating more on the scoreboard. And I know they did eventually, right? I know eventually they ended up 45-17 final. But I'm going to make this argument, and I can speak on this like exactly because I played FCS football. The difference between FBS and FCS, and I will go to my deathbed saying this, is not top-line talent, unless you're playing a team with like a bunch of NFL dudes. If you play Alabama, the starters are going to be better. If you play Clemson, the starters are going to be better. But for most schools, the FCS starters are pretty good. It's the depth. It's depth. And you can't sub guys out because you don't have guys. You don't have enough of them that are that good. Right? You're not rotating out defensive linemen. You're like, we got 4. If they're healthy, those are the guys we got, and we're going to ride them till the wheels fall off. Meanwhile, FBS has significantly more depth, which is why if you're scheduling a gimme game at the beginning of the year, that first half, there's a lot of what's going on here, right? And then in the second half, it ends up being like this. And if you play an FCS team at the end of the year, they've dealt with a couple injuries. They don't have the depth to eat those injuries, and you're going to get smoked. So going from 24-17 to 45-17 might not have been Duke waking up in the same way you think it is. Like, oh, good, Duke found a way. They completed everything. They put it all together. Might have just been, Well, the gunners on Elon's punt team are also their starting defensive backs, right? It might have been they don't have enough depth to go around, so you got a punt return touchdown. Right? It might have been the 300-pound defensive lineman, of which they only have a couple of, got a little tired, so, oh, look at that. Anderson Castle had to hold the run through. 60-yard run. I'm not giving Duke a A-OK because they finished with a gigantic win high score. I think they have to make sure earlier in the game when they're dominating, the score reflects it. One quick clip here from Manny Diaz, head coach of Duke. He says he wasn't focused on the score.
It all week, and it sounds crazy. Don't pay a lot of attention to the scoreboard. The scoreboard doesn't really count until the end of the game. The scoreboard's a timer until it's 0. Then when it's 0, it announces the score to everybody else. And so, like you mentioned, one-score game at some point in the fourth quarter, that doesn't affect my standard and performance. Just go out and play, and that's why I just felt like once we got going, we just took over the game. And so, I felt great poise and I felt great confidence in our guys in the second half.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's Manny Diaz after Duke's win. We'll see what the adjustments are for week 2, shall we? We have football at 4 coming up next. We just spent a good amount of time focused in on Duke's quarterback, Darien Mensah. What happens when we put State's quarterback, C.J. Bailey, under a similar microscope? Stick around.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Dear McDonald's, your breakfast menu? Fire. 10s across the board. I could be happy with anything, even though I order the same thing every time. Thanks for not judging me. I'll try something new next time. Maybe.
Get your faves for less. Buy a sausage McMuffin with egg for $2.50. Add any size Sprite for $1.49. Price of participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to RichieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RichieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Highs this afternoon will reach the mid-80s, some upper 80s mixed in. Plenty of sunshine all the way through the rest of the day today. Then mostly clear overnight. Temperatures by Saturday morning will sit in the mid-60s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 91 points to 45,545.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How good was C.J. Bailey in NC State's opening win over ECU? Well, Let's dive in, shall we? First of all, the dude's arm is pretty darn special. Let's just get it out, right? Let's just say it right from the beginning. He threw some dimes. The throw, I'll actually go with two of them, and they're actually a little different, just to illustrate the physical ability. And sometimes it's you can't teach it, right? I think it's fairly obvious if you put him on like the bench press or if you put him under a squat rack, he's not going to break any records, right? He's a very skinny individual, but the way that he's been built and the way that he's worked, his throwing motion unleashes something special, okay? Two throws first quarter. One, rolling to his right. And Dennis is nodding, but I don't even think I'm going to the one you're going to. You think I'm going to yet. Rolling to his right, 3rd and 6. Across his body, back, I think it was Noah Rogers, ended up making the catch for the completion.
It was right there on the old toughie.
Exactly. Which is so much more difficult than it looks, and you need so much awareness of momentum and your body control and everything else, and he made it look easy. And then later on in the first quarter, he is rolling to his right again, pressure facing him, thought about running it, did the little half tucking of the football, pulls it back out into throwing position, and unleashes a absolute dime to a mailbox-sized window over the shoulder. I think it was Teddy Hoffman on the it was a little corner route. It was a big corner route. It was downfield, big throw. And C.J. Bailey got hit right after letting it go. And if the ball were a foot shorter, may have gotten deflected. If it were 2 feet shorter, may have been intercepted. If it was anything longer, would have brought him out of bounds. It was that kind of throw. Very obviously good throw, right? So it's like he was doing the ones where if you know, you know. He was doing the ones where if you're the most casual fan, you're like, that's incredible. He was a physically gifted thrower of the football. Also, the touchdown run that he had shook off a tackler pretty easily. Right, we talked about it yesterday on the show that reportedly C.J. Bailey has added a bunch of weight, right, like 15, 20 pounds, and a few times last year it looked like he went down a little easy. Right, it looked like he got tackled when I think he might have been able to step out of that one. This time, shook off a tackler into the end zone. Turns out you needed it, right? Who knows how the game goes if he doesn't get into the end zone on that run, with how close it ended up being. Does anyone else get the sense, and I get the sense because I know it's coming, but does anybody else get the sense that there's like a large however coming this way?
But
yeah, it's like, all right, we're just going to sit here and praise him for 12 minutes, or are you setting us up for something? I feel like you're lulling this into a trap. Listen, it's not the end of the world. He made the throws. He looked the part. There were some what I would call freshman mistakes mentally. Right, there were some like, wait a second, you were the starter in training camp this year, right? You did have all offseason as the guy. You are a sophomore. You aren't a first-year starter anymore thrown into the fire. There were two that come to mind, but I remember thinking 5 or 6 of them watching the game. Moments where you go, you know what, last year I would have completely written that off. I would have given you 100% benefit of the doubt. You were put in a really tough situation. You were super young. You were, your friends were probably getting ready for homecoming or something like that, right? It's a different beast. This year, part of the burden of being quarterback one, big man on campus for an entire offseason is we do expect a higher level of mental and field awareness, game awareness, when you get out there on the game field. So, obviously, the interception right before half. Right? The interception right before half ends up being I think you need to have little bit better clock awareness.
I don't think he saw him.
Didn't see him, but knew everybody was dropping.
Well, I think it was that you didn't see him because, watching the replay from the end zone, the official was standing in the line of sight where that linebacker was. So I just don't think he actually physically saw him there. Because you look, you see, okay, I see official space in front. And it's like, oh, where'd this guy come from? That's really what it looked like. I talked to a couple people in the press box. Did you see that too? And they're like, yeah, I think we saw the same thing. I don't know, it's just kind of an interesting thing.
Maybe. I didn't catch it on film. It would be hilarious if somebody played peekaboo with the referee and got an interception in a crucial moment like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, we don't know what was going through his brain. So open up that as a possible escape hatch for everything I'm about to tell you. Everybody was dropping. End of half, there was like 35 seconds left. And that to me felt like a young quarterback not realizing that 35 seconds with a timeout and guys that are good after the catch is an eternity to get in field goal range. Right? You don't have to force it downfield for the 25-yard chunk immediately, 25-yard in the air chunk. You can dump it off to somebody, let them gain 10 yards and get out of bounds. You can do those sorts of things. Right? When you treat 35 seconds like it's 7 seconds, it's when you end up throwing the interceptions, right? And then you have to watch, and hopefully your defense is able to back you up, and they did. Ended up being a missed field goal. But last year I would have given you all the benefit. I would have gone, hey, young guy, tough situation, what are you going to do? This year, no, I expect more than that. And then the other is the sack. The sack late in the game, right? You get all the way down. This is the second missed field goal in the fourth quarter. All the way down to field goal range. And you have to immediately recognize we've got points on the board. Immediately recognize the number one thing that can't happen on third down is take a big loss. I was actually just listening today, right, getting ready for Monday's TCU UNC game, and I was listening to Bill Belichick mic'd up over the years, right, just kind of background noise, but trying to pick something up. And there's an old conversation. We're talking early Brady Belichick, first dynasty Brady Belichick, and Belichick is telling Brady, nobody will ever say we lost that game because of an incompletion. Nobody's ever like, we lost that game because you threw that incompletion. He goes, well, we will say it if you throw an interception, right? We will say it if you take the bad sack, if you give up the strip sack. Nobody says about the incompletion. And that's what I wish somebody would have told C.J. Bailey before that play. One of the best things that can happen on this play is just throw it away. He was trying too hard to make something happen. He takes a big sack. Now you have a kicker whose confidence is already rattled by the snap hook earlier in the fourth quarter, having to go out there and take a 40-something yarder rather than a short field goal.
Are you talking about the third down play?
Yes.
That was a designed run.
The one where he's scrambled around because the wide receiver was open in the left corner with his hands up.
That was a designed run. The third down play. You're talking about the second down play he scrambled. Well, there's a third down play was a designed run. You're talking about after the long completion down the right sideline?
I might be on the wrong field goal, actually. I think I'm on the first field goal.
Okay, sorry.
I think I'm on the first field goal. Thank you for correcting me. Yes, because the third field goal was the two draws, the quarterback draws. You're exactly right. Thank you very much. And thank you to everybody that would have wrote in on YouTube to correct me and sent it to me on Twitter, because I need you guys to check and balance me as well. We're talking about the first missed field goal in the fourth quarter. He takes the takes the sack, pushes back the field goal, then it's the snap hook. That is just a simple field awareness. Down, distance, where are you in field position? So instead of saying, now you have a kicker without confidence, I will say, now you have a kicker who's lost his confidence because he had to kick a longer field goal and snap hooked it, to correct my own self. So C.J. Bailey did a lot of good. And every time I watch him, I become more convinced that he can be a true dude, like one of them ones. Every time I watch him, I think if NC State's offensive coaching staff is able to tie up the loose ends on this guy's game, the sky's the limit. And also probably put another 25 pounds on him. Like, that's also, who knows if his body type can hang with it. But if he can put on another 20, 25 pounds and keep his very whippy motion, like his arm snaps, it's I'm very convinced that he has the potential to be a truly, truly, really, really, really good college quarterback, and maybe beyond. But you got to tie up those loose ends. You got to tie him up. Can't have the momentary lapses. And then if he's able to do that, I think you win that game by more. I don't know by how much more, but I think you win that game by more. But yes, if you go watch the highlights, he also threw some dimes. Don't get it twisted.
It's physically all there.
I listed 2 dimes just because they were kind of my favorite and they came very early on, so it got me giddy early in the game. But you can go watch some of the deep ball down the right sideline to Hoffman. The Wesley Grimes touchdown was a dime. There's a lot to like about what he brings to the table. You just got to make sure he's a 70 out of 70 play guy, not a 67 out of 70 play guy.
I think I have to remind ourselves that that's his 7th start of his career. Maybe 8th.
I assume it's a couple more than that, but yeah.
It's 7th or 8th. Like, he's still super young.
Yep.
Like, just the experience. That just comes with more experience.
When he gets to start, you would very much hope so.
When he gets to start, 20 by the end of this season or so, then yeah, you would expect that hopefully that those couple mistakes are out of the system.
Let me bring it up here. Let's see. Last year, he appeared in a bunch of games. He had at least 20 attempts in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games last year. I'm actually surprised. That's more than I thought.
Yeah, because I know because Grayson McCall got hurt in a couple of those games early.
Yep. Got hurt, and then obviously the one at the end. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of playing experience there for a year, and then he gets a full offseason as the guy. If you're the guy through every, one's rep in training camp, you should be really good at game situations. Because you're going to run a bunch of 2-minute drills in training camp. You're going to run a ton of 4-minute drills in training camp. You're going to do a lot of, we're putting the ball on the 36-yard line, it's 3rd and 6, finish the drive. You're going to do a lot of that kind of stuff. So you just need a little bit better tying up of the loose ends. But if it happens, watch the heck out, because there's enough to be really excited about there. 318 yards. Could have been more, too. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's that time, everybody. Friday Soundoff. Normally we do this on Mondays, but today, since we had 2 local college football games on a Thursday, we want to give you the chance to respond, to react to CJ Bailey's game, to Dave Doeren, to State's nail-biting victory against ECU. If you're an ECU fan, you want to call in with your opinions. We want to hear them. Duke fans, we want to hear your opinions. Panther fans, if you got something going on. Did Adam Thielen say something that ruffled your feathers the wrong way? The Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls. Whatever you want to talk about, we want to have that conversation with you. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Call in now. We'll do our best to hear from all of you. Stick around. We'll open up the phone lines next.
Tonight on Compass Media Network's coverage of NCAA football, it's a cross-conference showdown from the Rocky Mountain State as Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes host the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Hi, this is Tim Cates. Join Greg Daniels and Chad Brown for all the action as the Buffaloes and Yellow Jackets battle it out for their first win of the season. It's Colorado hosting Georgia Tech. If it's NCAA football, it's right here.
Kickoff at 8. On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle's home for college football.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10 by 10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Guys, Marcy Bailey here from Bailey's Fine Jewelry with some diamond advice. Buying an engagement ring doesn't have to be so complicated. We've been doing this since 1948, and we know what women want. A combination of size and quality. And a little hint here, size wins big. We guarantee you can be in and out in under an hour, and she'll love the ring or your money back. It's that easy. Come see why we're voted the best place to buy a diamond. And remember, Every woman wants a Bailey box.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Bailey snaps, surveys the landscape, tucks and runs, off right side, lead blocker ahead, touchdown at the 5, he breaks the tackle, touchdown, C.J. Bailey!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your conversations. We want to hear from you, your sports reactions, whatever they are. Obviously, the NC State ECU game, the Duke Elon game are fresh in your memories. 919-860-5326. As predicted, Wolfpack Nation lining up quickly. Sean in Northern Virginia. Sean, you want to sound off on NC State? The floor is yours. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you. I'm quite shocked at how bad that offensive line looked, and I've listened to a bunch of podcasters today while at work. I don't think it's been covered enough. I mean, you got Hollywood looks great as a running back, but, I mean, whenever you have to miss 2-3 tackles before you can even touch the line of scrimmage, you still do it, and then you gain 3-4 yards. That says something about him, but it really says something about that offensive line. I'm not looking forward to the rest of the season.
I agree with you, and thank you very much for the call, Sean. I agree with you that the offensive line, particularly as run blockers, call back in anytime. Particularly as run blockers had my antennas up, had my alarms going off. Right? It's as great as C.J. Bailey looked. Right, kind of what I was getting at earlier in that there's still a young player mistake in there a little bit. I don't think you want him dropping back 40 times a game. You want to have a running game you can lean on, play action that he can build off of, and the running. I mean, quite frankly, the offensive line's going to be better than that. They did lose a player to injury early on, right on that first drive, but not really an excuse for what we saw. Thank you very much for the call, Sean. David in Smithfield wants to sound off on State as well. David in Smithfield, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with what you were saying earlier in the show about just not putting them away. I mean, I was at the game, 17-0. You're sitting there relaxing. You're thinking, hey, we're gonna have an easy night, and we just didn't, we just didn't have no killer instinct, of getting it done. I agree too. We were up 17-0, and then it seemed like our safeties and stuff, we were very soft in the middle of the field, and we just let them throw right over top of our, linebackers and safeties. We just didn't do well. I didn't think we were going to run the ball very well. I know I came home and listened to watch some of the game on TV afterwards, and they were talking about how much the ECU was stacking the box. So we'll see. I mean, it's frustrating, but we're going to have to see. You want to help us. Trust you, Dave. You got to Virginia. Go beat Virginia. Beat Wake Forest. Beat Duke. Go out 6-0 and get our confidence back. Because right now we're not very confident in what we're doing.
All right, appreciate it, David. I think that's where I said this yesterday before the show, or before the game on the show. I said, you can always win back trust. It does feel like Dave Doeren is losing some trust, but enough winning will win back trust. You just heard David lay down the gauntlet. You struggle against ECU? I need 6-0 to be back on your side. There's the conversion rate. One struggle against ECU equals 6-0 if you want me back on your side, says David there. We'll go to another David on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. If you don't get through, just means lines are full, but you can keep calling. We have a long time here to hear you. David in Raleigh, you are up next. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim.
Hello. Go ahead. You're on the air. Yep, go ahead.
Okay. Must be David's think-alike today because he's thinking the same way I am. You started the show today, and you were spot on, like you'd been a 50-year State fan, just like I've been suffering. I mean, you've been around this area, and I'm sure you've been following being a football player. But that's just our NC State identity. That's just who we are. We can't bury anybody. Whether it's basketball, football, baseball, do we have our outliers? Yes, we do. But when we need to just bury somebody and the opportunity is there, it's the same old thing. If I was this week, if I was the second number 2 kicker, I'd be smiling because he's going to get a chance next week. And the pass defense over the middle, like David said earlier, was just porous. It's just so weak. Why does it continue year after year after year, coach after coach after coach? It's been going on. We just live with it. We're Wolfpack fans. Go Pack Nation.
Thank you very much, David. I love it. I love the passion. 50-year fans definitely come with a different perspective. I will say the reason why, well, first of all fans do it, right? You get your hopes up that this year is going to be different every single year. That's for every fan of every sport. If your team's downtrodden, this is our year. But the killer instinct part, the part that I thought was lacking in the second and third quarter yesterday, right? First quarter, pretty good. Second, third quarter, there's the opportunity to slam the door, take their will. You let them live, and then the fourth quarter becomes a hold on for dear life. You got to find a way to win moment. The reason I oftentimes go into a game, a season with maybe it'll be different, is I do think killer instinct is something that like one transcendent player can change. Right? If you just have the one guy that's the human dagger that's making the play that puts the other team out of their misery, that's enough. And you wonder if it could be somebody like Hollywood Smothers, or you wonder if it could be Noah Rogers, Wesley Grimes, right? Like somebody that's going to make the 60-yard touchdown that makes ECU go, yeah, we're not going to come back, are we? There was never that play. Never. Not yet, at least. Barry and Selma. Next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline for a Friday Soundoff, reacting to not just State. If you want to react to anything else in sports, we want to hear you. Barry and Selma wants to talk offensive line for the Wolfpack. Barry, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, Tim. Man, I don't know if Dave Doeren and the offensive staff knows what an offensive line is supposed to look like, because we've never run the ball since he's been there. I think that maybe that one year when they had Nyheim Hines and Jacoby Myers with the jet sweep might have been his best success, but we can't run the football. If you can't run the football, it's like you said, C.J. Bailey's going to have to throw it 50 times a game, and that is not good.
Appreciate the call. Love it. Here's the hard part for me, and again, thank you very much for the call, Barry. Here's the hard part for me. It is a stereotype of a fan stuck in the past. It's like a meme. It's a cliche, whatever you want to call it, of a fan stuck in the past to just be in the stands yelling, "Run the darn ball!" But the part that's frustrating is that guy knows a little bit. Like, he's not always wrong. Sometimes you just have to be able to run the darn ball. And the funniest part about it, for State specifically, is I think Dave Doeren really wants to be a ball control offense-defense team. I think that's his ideal squad. But they keep trying to put together the roster and end up with a team that struggles to run the ball but has some dudes in the passing game. And it's like, well, that's not what you tried to build, is it? But you end up here. So a game like yesterday, you got up 17-zip, and it felt like they tried to play a little conservative, right? Prevent. Now, if you have, like, Derrick Henry, yeah, of course. But if you have a player in that mold that is ready, like you get up 17-0 and you turn to him and go, there you go. You're going to have 25 carries from here on out, pick up first downs, we're going home. Like that's one thing. But when you're trying to play conservative and your offense has to depend on the pass to move the ball, that could set you up for things like turnovers, interceptions. That could set you up for things like quick drives that give them more opportunities to come back. Being a conservative play caller after you get a 3-score lead is not the end of the world. But you have to have the offense to execute a conservative game plan once you have a 3-score lead, or else you're just playing right into your opponent's hands. Let's go to Edward and Wendell. By the way, Heister Automotive Group hotline, open for your calls, 919-860-5326. If you want to preview UNC, you want to give us a prediction for UNC TCU, we want to hear it. Or anything else going on in college football over the weekend. Doesn't have to be NC State reactions, but hey, Wolfpack fans, we want to hear from you too. Edward and Wendell's up next, sounding off on NC State. Edward, thank you for calling in. The floor is yours.
I think last night, again, kind of going to piggyback what I said on Monday, mediocre. Again, you said a couple weeks ago, I think, that CJ Bailey or the is getting paid more than the whole ECU squad in NIL. Last night, he didn't play like it. If he's going to play like he's paid more than the whole ECU, and we should have put up 30. Also, I don't want him to have a Brendan Armstrong thing. He doesn't look like him, but Brendan Armstrong a couple of years ago, I remember he would have one read, and then just the second he did that, he was either going to chuck and throw, pick, or he was going to run 15 yards down the field and still get negative yards. But also, I heard on Pack Therapy that you were talking about this new defense and how last night I saw the same thing you were saying earlier, which was the second they picked up the tempo, they caught us off guard, and I was just wondering, does that new defense that you're talking about on Pack Therapy, like, is that good for that? Because that will be a big problem, because now we showed it in our film, so now whenever we play somebody else, they know all they got to do is pick up the tempo.
Edward, I will answer all of those questions. I'll do my best to answer all of those questions. But as always, you know you're always welcome calling in. And Edward, he laid down the gauntlet for Dave Doeren when we opened up the phone lines last week, and I assume that game against ECU didn't change his opinion at all. As far as changing the defense, tempo is I wouldn't say more threatening to a 3-4 versus a 4-3 versus a 3-3-5. Tempo is A, conditioning. It's B, having players that are not ultra specialists, right? If you're just I rush the passer on third down, I don't stop the run guy, then you almost can't be on the field when you're playing someone going with tempo. Because if you go out there on a third down, they pick up the first down, they're hustling to the ball, there's no time to sub, you're now out there having to stop the run in the next play. So I don't think the new defense and them struggling with tempo has a correlation there. I think they just struggled with the other team running quickly to the ball, and also we're running a new defense. And by the way, new defense, there'll be some growing pains. Like you're going to expect them to get better, but you know, we talked with Corey Smith from Pack Pride before the game. We've talked about it a bunch. The secondary and the defensive line were the two parts that, you know, everybody was kind of concerned about going into the game. You felt good about Caden Fordham, felt good about Sean Brown as off-ball linebackers, and I think they did a really good job stopping the run. But, you know, the elements that you use, pass rush and secondary to stop the pass, for the most part, not saying linebackers aren't involved, but for the most part, were the ones that were getting gashed on the tempo plays kind of starting in the second quarter and beyond. We'll go to Corey in Raleigh, not the Corey I just referenced, a different Corey in Raleigh. This is a UNC fan. I like that he announces his biases on Front Street. A UNC fan that wants to sound off on NC State. Corey, welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
Tim, I appreciate you having me on again, and I just want to start off by saying Edward, you called him before, he is the man. He's the man. I live in Wendell as well, but I want to say as a UNC fan that first drive last night, it looked like you will see something different out of state. I thought it looked smooth. I thought C.J. Bailey looked very comfortable, especially from the start of the game. I think what everyone is seeing is that when ECU settled in and got comfortable, it was a different game. And I also see that there was a very big scare at the end where ECU could have tied that game up, but I think some play calling from the coaches prevented that, so we could be having a different story. So I think equally what I'm looking at is they think that they just seen a preview of what they've always seen. And I want to end by saying this. Duke is puke, wake is fate. The team I hate is NC State. Can't go to heaven in a little red canoe because God's favorite color is Carolina blue. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you for the call. I'll push back on one thing. One thing might not have been as accurate as that caller made it out to be. He said that ECU had a chance to tie it up late in the game, Blake Harrell said after the game there was going to be no tie.
Oh, he was going for it.
If they scored that touchdown, it was going to be either a 1-point loss or a 1-point win because they were going to go for that 2-point conversion. So they were not playing for the tie. So you could argue State didn't get close to giving up a tie. They may have gotten close to going home with a loss or escaping even more narrowly with a win. We'll go back to the call-in line. Vince in Raleigh next up wants to talk about NC State. Vince in Raleigh, welcome to the show. The floor is yours.
Hey, Tim. Thanks, Dennis, for taking my call. Yeah, I'm going to be kind of contrary. I think that there were a lot of elements, as you mentioned, the linebackers, the receiving core, that young freshman receiver, that showed a lot of improvement, and I think there's a lot of upside. So I'm a little more than glass half full, put it that way. I'm the 55%er. I'm not all gloom and doom. However, I did notice something, and it was something our last two callers mentioned, was the play calling. Very interesting, because at halftime, there's a new person on ACC Network. I forget his name. He used to be a running back at Stanford. Anyway,
he's a Wake Forest guy, just so you know. His name is Bryce Love.
Oh, right, yeah, Bryce Love. I'm sorry. So anyway, you got the name right.
Yep.
So, and he picked it out too. He said, the first 15 or 20 plays were scripted, and they looked real smooth. Then he said when they went off the scripting, and obviously they're going play-by-play play calling, and he said the play calling became substandard, and he was right. And also there's second point that the young man was saying, that Edward was saying, is I found that with Bailey, he would look off his first two options very quickly, and within a second, it was just I'm just going to give it to a back or a receiver in the flat, not really giving much time to the play. So there are rooms to work, and that's why the offense settled into that quiet period after the early score in the third period. It just looked stagnant, and that led to that. On the other hand, I'm not gloom and doom over here. I might be the only one of your callers, but I'm not.
All right.
So thanks for the time, Tim, and thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Vince, and I appreciate the optimism. I'll actually be a little bit more optimistic than you on the play calling. I do think a lot of the complaints, a lot of them, and we heard a ton of them about Robert and I's play calling with State over the last few years. Not going downfield enough, not too many gimmick plays, too many of the speed sweeps, too many, all of those things. Tempo, going super duper slow. A lot of those were I wouldn't say fixed, but they definitely were different signs of life. You know what I mean? Don't forget here's the issue I had with the play calling. The issue I had with the play calling for NC State, and it's one, remember, Kurt Roper hasn't been calling plays recently, right? So he's getting into it as well. The red zone play calling is where I had issues. The deep balls that got them into the red zone, well-timed, well-executed, gave your players who are ready to play a chance to make a play, right? And once they got into the red zone, the conservative play kind of came back, right? And we'll never know what's on the headset, right? We'll never know if Dave Doeren's getting on the phone going, hey, we're in the red zone. Let's not mess with it. Let's make sure we get 3, right? And then that's going to change the way your offensive coordinator play calls. As far as C.J. Bailey going through his reads very quickly, and I watched the film and I did my best to kind of figure out what their goals were on each play, but we're never going to know. This is what I mean. We had a caller call in earlier, said C.J. Bailey's a one-read-and-done guy. If his first read's not open, he's immediately getting out and running or panicking. Then this caller calls in and goes, well, he's immediately getting through his first 2 reads, and he's getting down to his third read too quickly. We don't know, right? We don't know what his reads are, but I will say this. Sometimes when you're super in tune with the offense and you're reading the defense perfectly as a quarterback, you're getting to your check down super fast because you know what they're doing, you know what your guys are doing, you know who's going to be open and who's not going to be open, you know who's worth waiting for, and if you immediately know, all right, Noah Rogers is my first read, pick another one. We'll go with Hoffman is my second read, but into this defense that they're playing, into cover 2, neither of these are cover 2 beaters, right? Oh, darn, we didn't have any man beaters, and they're in straight up man. Well, luckily, I have a running back and a check down. So it looks like, oh, you went through your first reads quickly, but really, you knew they weren't going to get open, so why wait around? Let me get it to my running back, pick up positive yards. earlier I made the analogy, Belichick telling Brady, no one will ever say we lost that game because of an incomplete pass. I'll one-up you even further. Only crazy people would say we lost that game because of a complete pass. So if you're completing passes to your check downs, good money, right? Can't go broke making a profit, especially if you're mixing in a 50, a 46-yard completion, a long touchdown. Like he did keep the defense honest throwing it deep and completed a good amount of them. I don't think C.J. Bailey's afraid to go downfield at all. And if he's mixing up checkdowns to the running back within that, or Joe Lee across the middle within that, you will not hear me complain about it one bit. All right, we have a non-state sound-off here. We have Micah in Morrisville wants to sound off on App State. Micah in Morrisville, welcome to the show, and go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, what's up, Tim? First, I'm going to start with Virginia Tech. I'm calling the upset on Sunday. I think they're going to beat USC down there at the Falcon Stadium. And then I'm an App State alum, and so I got to back them. I think they're going to destroy UNCC because it's UNCC and they're not good at anything. But I honestly haven't been doing I haven't been keeping up with the team that much this season. So if you could go in, if you know about the new quarterback, and give a little rundown on him. I think he came from LSU, but I wouldn't 100% say that's true. So yeah.
All right, we'll give you what we can here. And by the way, thank you for calling in. You know that you are always welcome on the show, and I like a non-hockey call from Micah as well. First of all, it starts with a new coach, Dowell Loggins, and I think I told a listener maybe last time we were doing this that I would text Mike Lennon because Mike Lennon played in the NFL on a staff when Dowell Loggins was, I think, offensive coordinator. So here's what Mike basically told me. I'll paraphrase. Good guy, or a good offensive mind, kind of a slick thinker, and is definitely going to be testing some more interesting play calls. He's not going to be a guy to kind of lock in. That's the new coach, Dowell Loggins. So offensive-minded head coach leads to your quarterback, who I believe has been A.J. Swan has been named as their quarterback. He was at LSU last year. Prior to that, a lot of play time at Vanderbilt. So I don't know, 30,000 passing yards maybe over a couple of years at Vanderbilt. Guy with SEC experience going to App State is going to have high expectations. But in a lot of ways, UNC, TCU, we're talking about kind of peeling back some of the mystery. I think we're going to have some of the mystery of App State pulled back as well, going up against Charlotte. Granted, I'm not going to agree with the way that Micah said it, but Charlotte is not the same test that TCU is for UNC, for App State.
Game at Bank of America Stadium, by the way.
The in-state to start week one has been awesome.
Love it.
Last one here. We have Isaiah in Wake Forest wants to sound off on Micah Parsons. Isaiah, welcome to the show. Let's hear your thoughts on the big trade in the NFL.
Hey, thanks for having me on. I was at my soccer game and my buddy checked his phone and he was like, "Yo, did you see Micah Parsons got traded to the Packers?" And I was just like, wow. And first, I don't know what Jerry Jones is trying to do. The Packers, the Cowboys are supposed to be about winning, and they trade probably their number 2 player that can help them win. And if I'm the other key players on their team, Trevon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, I'm really frustrated. And if this season goes downhill, if I'm CeeDee Lamb at the trade deadline, I'm asking out. I'm asking for a trade out. I would want to go somewhere who actually wants to win, who doesn't have a owner who just wants the spotlight. And that's really all I have to say. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for the call, Isaiah. Here's the thing. And I did quite a bit of radio on Micah Parsons late last night. Here's my entire take on it. Jerry Jones is still operating in 1994. That's my entire take on the subject. He wants to get Micah to come meet him in a room and have cigars and brandy and discuss a contract. When you're talking about $47 million a year, lawyers and agents are going to be involved. He wants guys to take less to play for the Dallas Cowboys because it's the star on the side of the helmet. And they're not doing it, and he's getting himself in way too deep into these negotiations. He wants a different NFL to exist. He wants the Herschel Walker trade. But guess what? Everybody watched the Herschel Walker trade, so there's never going to be another Herschel Walker trade. There's a lot we could get to about the Micah Parsons thing, and we'll touch on it a little bit later on. But goodness gracious, is there a lot to break down with what Jerry's doing to the Dallas Cowboys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to everybody that called in. You are the real MVPs on a Friday. Sound off. We have real bold predictions coming up. But first, Dennis Cox has some information he'd like to pass along.
That's right. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. By the way, you need to call the number 919-897-7506 because today's the last day that you can get up to 20% off on the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Again, 919-897-7506. If you missed the number, I'll give it to you here in just a moment. But here's the thing about Raleigh Weight Loss Center. I've actually been doing the program for about 4 weeks now, just over 4 weeks. I've lost 28 pounds. 28 pounds in 4 weeks with the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And here's the thing about their program. You're not doing shots, so there's no injections, no side effects, things along those lines. You're not doing HGH, no steroids or anything along those lines. It's just getting your body to restart and reset its metabolism so you can naturally burn off a half pound to a pound a day. That's the whole point of the program at Raleigh Weight Loss Center, is to get your body naturally doing what it is capable of doing. And also, not just losing weight, they want you to maintain that goal weight as well. So many fad diets out there where you lose a bunch of weight, then you put it back on, you lose a bunch of weight, you put it back on. They want you to get down to that target goal weight, get your body fat percentage where you need it to be, and keep it there. That's the goal of Raleigh Weight Loss Center. So you're not looking for the short term, you're looking for the long term. That's what Raleigh Weight Loss Center is there to do. Again, up to 20% off. It ends today, so you got to get in touch with them right now. 919-897-7506 or go to RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Again, 919-897-7506 or visit them online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
We have real, bold predictions coming up next right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
Move your sports day forward.
Currently built around unicorns like Shohei and studs like Aaron Judge, baseball getting a late-season jolt with Seattle catcher Cal Raleigh. The Carolina native now being talked about in the same breath as Mickey Mantle for a 50-home-run season. It also helps his nickname's the Big Dumper. It also helps he looks like the ringer you'd play with in beer league.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Lenovo Center Raleigh, September 11th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
We love to celebrate Labor Day weekend with family, friends, picnics, and parties. Please be safe this holiday weekend and don't drink and drive. From your friends at 99.9 The Fan and Richie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
It's game night in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on the Hartford Athletic on Saturday, August 30th at First Horizon Stadium at 7:30 p.m. Get your tickets at tickets.northcarolinafc.com. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay cool, stay fierce.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler. You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Lenovo Center Raleigh, September 11th. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
This is The Drive. Right here on 99.9 The Fan. So we do have real bold predictions to get to, but we were so into Friday's Soundoff that we actually skipped right over a little ladder challenge. So with the month ending before we have another show, because we don't have a show on the holiday on Monday, which actually that's the first anyway, right? Am I doing the math right?
That is correct.
So with the month changing over the weekend, this is my last chance for Dennis to mess up. So we're going to run a quick ladder challenge.
Oh, my God! And for the 20-foot ladder with a spear on Jeff Hardy. For the love of God, Jeff Hardy may be broken. Smack dab in half.
Last one we picked was on Wednesday. I had Reds Dodgers over 4.5 total runs. Dodgers won 5-1. Nailed it. I'm up to $20.73. Dennis, what are you working with?
So I had a win on Wednesday as well. So I'm up to $45.21. My victory was, of course, the app just kicked me out, so I got to log back in to see what my pick exactly was. But it was someone giving up at least one earned run, and that's exactly what happened.
It was a guy whose name was hard to pronounce.
Yeah, exactly. Hence why I don't remember off the top of my head. The pick actually was I had Chase Dollander of the Houston Astros. I'm sorry, again, for the Colorado Rockies playing against the Houston Astros to give up one earned run against Houston. He gave up a couple, so that worked out for me again up to $45.12. I actually did make a bet yesterday, and we never actually did it. I did win it yesterday as well, but I'm not going to count that, obviously. So I'm going to keep that $45.12.
All right. I'm going to be honest. I was just reading something. Did you make your bet for tonight?
Oh, my bet for today is, again, a name difficult to pronounce. Yandris Gomez of the Chicago White Sox, the starting pitcher.
You're going baseball with all this football out there.
Once again, Chicago White Sox starting pitcher today has a very high earned run average. They're playing the New York Yankees. He just needs to give up one earned run. It's a minus 1,000. So my 45-12 will turn into 49-63. Just got to give up one earned run tonight. That's it.
All right. Mine for this weekend is Alabama plus 2.5 over Florida State. You're able to tease it all the way. I think Alabama's going to win by $1 billion.
Yeah.
And to get Alabama plus 2.5 is pretty nice. Protects me against like crazy 2-point conversion wins or whatever. If things get crazy, which would bring me up to $23.32. I just need Dennis to mess up. And for now, the trophy still in the right studio, and we're not giving it up willingly. That's the ladder challenge. Let's get to real bold predictions quickly.
I brought up the wrong instrumental. That's on me.
Right.
That's on me.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
I will take that one. That's on me.
How about that?
You know
How
what?
about
That is 100%. That's on
there
my
it is.
part.
Real bold predictions. The not bold enough buzzer, the bold enough bell, you'll catch on. My bold prediction to start with is Duke quarterback Darien Mensah leads the ACC in passing yards. Thank you very much. That is bold enough. 389 to start is just a good launch pad. And he didn't have more. He had 6 yards in the last quarter and a half. Just seems like that's a lot of yards, and Duke can sling it around a little bit. NC State wide receiver Teddy Hoffman, freshman All-American on at least one list. I'm wildly impressed when freshmen have big roles in week one. Because if I'm a coach, I'm just giving you a little bit. And then if you do well with that, we'll build it a little, we'll build it a little, we'll build it a little. He was targeted a ton. And it's not like they don't have other wide receivers they could have had running those routes, right? Like I think he just might end up having a pretty big season. Looking ahead to the UNC TCU game. How's this for a bold prediction? Jordan Shipp scores a touchdown. Picking a player to score a touchdown. Jordan Shipp has 80 yards and a touchdown at least. Could be more of each. Thank you. I think it could be one of those things that I've just heard so many times I've started to believe it. But so many people that I trust that are in touch with UNC football have told me that Jordan Shipp is going to be a real one. So I guess I'm just co-signing this because we don't get a ton of access to UNC practices. Looking tonight, Wake Forest, Kennesaw State. Damon Claiborne returns a kick for a touchdown. Fastest guy in the game.
Kick returns are always a bold prediction in my mind.
If I'm Kennesaw State, I'm doing everything I possibly can to kick that bad boy out of the end zone. I don't want Damon Claiborne to touch it, but I'm taking a wild guess that Kennesaw State's kicker doesn't have the big boot. And then if he gets his hands on it in space, I just like Claiborne's chances. This kind of goes back to my my ladder challenge. I didn't realize they were going to be so close together. Alabama beats Florida State by 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns.
You do remember that Florida State stunk last year.
You do realize that they spent a bunch of money on transfers.
And they did that last year, too, and how did that work out for them?
They did it the year before, too, and how did that work out for them?
Well, yeah, okay, so it's a coin flip.
24 points? That's a huge it's Alabama, Florida State. 24 is massive.
What's the spread on that?
14.5.
Yeah, it's not big enough.
Tommy Castellanos opened his mouth.
Yeah, there's that too.
Like I think Alabama's gonna.
The guy that got benched at Boston College last year.
Hey, he said he didn't get benched. It was a conscious uncoupling.
Oh, okay.
It was a mutual decision.
Thank you, Will Smith.
But he said like he talked trash to Alabama in the press. I don't know if there's a large group of undersized quarterbacks on a new team that have had success talking trash to Alabama in the press.
Is it terrible for me to hope that Florida State just gets steamrolled again this season?
No.
Okay, good.
They're actively trying to uproot the ACC that we love from the inside. It's okay to root against them, but actually in this scenario, I do think you might have to close your nose so you don't smell it and root for them because we need it. We need ACC over SEC wins for CFP purposes. Ugh. So just don't watch and check your phone and hope that the ACC wins, I guess. Speaking of the ACC, Cade Klubnik throws for 300-plus yards versus LSU on Saturday.
Ooh, against LSU?
He actually hasn't thrown for 300-plus in many games. I looked it up. Because my original thought was 350, and then I went and looked at it and went, wait.
Yeah, I'll go with that one.
He's a dual threat, so he has some 350-plus total yards, but I'm talking passing yards.
He's a underrated runner.
That was one of my big surprises last year. A couple 50-yard touchdown runs. Yeah. Real surprising ones. But I do think he's good, and I think his wide receivers are pretty good. And I think Brian Kelly loves to have his teams underperform in big games early in the season. Okay, we'll go Notre Dame, Miami. Jeremiah Love runs for 2 touchdowns versus Miami on Sunday. New quarterback, young quarterback for Notre Dame, and they happen to have who most people believe is the best running back in the country this year. That screams, let the running back take the heat. Let him get the offense rolling. You manage the game, and Notre Dame will try to beat Miami. It's a top 10 matchup, though. Big game. And again, one that for the ACC, let's go the U. Last one, and I have a reason for this. Patrick Mahomes wins 3 more Super Bowls, at least.
How old is he? 28?
I have no clue. Something like that. 3 more?
I had to give a buzzer in there.
He wins 3 more within the next 8 years.
All right. I'll give you that.
I didn't know how to make that more bold because calling him 7 Super Bowls would be ridiculous. Did you know Did you know, fun fact for everybody out there, that Patrick Mahomes' current contract has $2 million less in average per year value than Micah Parsons? Patrick Mahomes is now making less than an edge rusher per year. And nobody's even talking about him redoing his deal. Every other player, when they get so significantly below market value, the immediate thought is they're going to have to take care of him before the season starts. They'll take care of him as soon as the season gets next offseason. He's making $45 million per year, which is a stupid amount of money for all of us. But in the NFL, he's starting to be like below average starting quarterback money. And now it's not even top of the defensive player market money. And if they can continue to convince him that's what should happen, they're going to put a bananas team around him, and he's going to win a whole bunch of Super Bowls. Maybe Travis Kelce is like supplementing with record sales or something for Mahomes. Does he have that ability? Probably not. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Can he just start dipping into his billionaire fiance's cash and going, Pat, don't make the Chiefs pay. That hurts the cap. She'll just front you. I don't know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. I'll tell you what I would do if that offer was given to me. Hey, you want some record sales money? Here you go. I'm going right to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, and I'm doing one of two things. I'm either turning right, going into the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop at Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location. I'm either walking in the doors, turning right, and going right to the pre-owned and vintage Rolex case, which has an ever-changing but always gigantic selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, or I'm turning left, and I'm going right over to the Omega Boutique because I'm a big fan of Omegas, and I'm looking at the Speedmasters, the Moon Watches, the Seamasters, which are made famous by the most famous movie Spy. Yes, the one you're thinking of. And then I'm probably perusing around and going to a bunch of different cases. The Blancpain case to get a 50 Fathoms dive watch. I'm going to the Glashütte Original, maybe getting a dress watch for when I really want to fancy things up. I'm going over to the Hamiltons, getting some military-inspired watches for a company that has their roots right here in America. I'm going to G-Shock, and I'm getting something even more durable that I can wear while doing yard work and doing everything crazy in my garage, meaning building stuff that I don't really do, but I'd like to think I will one day. There's a lot of options for the timepiece that's going to make a statement on your wrist. Automatic watches, mechanical watches. You're talking about every different option. Obviously, quartz watches. Check them all out and follow Fox and Bailey Watch Shop on Instagram. At Fox and Bailey Watch Shop is their handle. Let them know when you do stop by the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District of Raleigh that you heard about it right here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next, and we'll actually hear from, in the next hour, a member of the Duke Blue Devils. Got a sack yesterday in their win over Elon. Be joining us on the phone line. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jackson Dart is ready for prime time. Jackson Dart gives the Giants the best chance to win games. Jackson Dart gives Brian Daboll and Joe Shane the best chance to say their damn job. I am on board with Mike Tannenbaum, everything that he says. So Jackson Dart needs to be the quarterback moving forward. QB1, week 1.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Genie log, day 15,824. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million now. I'll be stuck in this little lamp forever with nothing but all this stupid gold and rare gems. A gold-plated motorcycle? Sure does a lot of good when you live in a 10x10 magic lamp. Come find me. I'm at latitude 36.06.
Grant your own wishes. The Powerball jackpot is over $900 million. Must be 18 to play. Approximate jackpot odds are 1 in 293 million. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing,
T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money line, spread, totals, player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet $5. I know where I'm going to bet from now on. Ever ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Must be physically located in North Carolina. TNCs apply. In-app only.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. Friday night looks great. Skies will gradually cloud up, though, overnight with lows in the upper 50s to lower 60s. Saturday, it's a nice day, just a 30% chance for rain. Highs are in the low to mid 80s. We'll be in the low 80s on Sunday with drier weather.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 92 points to 45,544. Ready to sell your home? Trust the #1 real estate company in the Carolinas, Howard Hanna Allen Tate. Let them show you a real estate experience that is different from all the others.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday to you all. Friday, 5 o'clock. It's a good time, right? Thanks for starting your weekend with us. Although really the weekend started yesterday. At least the football weekend started yesterday. Great Thursday college football schedule yesterday. Some really good games today. Some unbelievable games over the weekend. A pretty darn good one on Labor Day. That's Monday. TCU, UNC. So there's a lot to get to. And without further ado, we'll jump right into the starting 5, which is brought to you by Richie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to richielaw.com. That's RICCI law.com. Now let's start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Things are good here. We have just decided that it was in the best interest of our team to take the consideration that we have. We appreciate his 4 years, but we can take that consideration and we can win in our minds more than had we gone the other route and signed him.
Micah Parsons was traded from the Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers yesterday. The return, 2 first-round picks, 2026, 2027 first-rounders, and Kenny Clark, who's a former Pro Bowl defensive tackle. Then Green Bay gave him a 4-year, $188 million, $120 million guaranteed, $136 million practically guaranteed, $47 million per year contract extension, which is by $6 million the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history per year. I think I and many had the same question for Jerry Jones, which for Cowboys fans probably was vocalized something like this. Why? Well, Jerry Jones answered that question at a press conference yesterday. Why'd you trade Micah Parsons?
The facts are we need to stop the run. And we haven't been able to stop the run at key times for several years. And when you have the kind of extraordinary pass rush that Michael had, then the way to mitigate that pass rush is to run at you. If the pass rush doesn't get you ahead pretty big time and you're playing even or behind, then you've really got a problem in stopping the run.
Oh, I love some flawed logic. We need to stop the run. So what we're going to do is make it much easier to pass against us so they don't choose to run. Now our run defense improves. If you have an elite pass rusher, so teams don't want to pass against you, that's tough on your run defense. If you remove the elite pass rusher, they're going to start passing on you. And your run defense is going to... That's such flawed logic, but I love you for it, Jerry, because, quite frankly, I don't want the Cowboys to win. So good on you, I guess. Now, I'm going to make a joke here that I'm saying it's a joke, but just know there are people out there that believe it. Jerry was upset that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce had all the headlines, so he went out and traded Micah Parsons to bring him back to Dallas. Would you put it past Jerry? Do you know what's crazy?
No, I wouldn't, actually. I would not.
See,
I 100% would not.
Do you know what's the craziest part? He's 82 years old. No, now, hopefully, right, you hope for everybody to have long, fulfilling lives. Hopefully he lives a bunch longer. But I wouldn't be planning like a long rebuild where you're going to need draft picks in 2027 to have a couple years to develop until you see the fruits of a trade. But maybe that's just me. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
We have a fantastic week ahead of college football. And
yeah,
we're gonna talk about specific games, but there are a whole bunch of games that don't involve local teams that are still exciting. And first, there's an update here from the ACC and the ACC network.
Okay.
For the 2025 season, which is this season, audience watching ACC officiated matchups on Friday nights on either ESPN, ESPN2, and ACC, and so on either ESPN or ESPN2 on Fridays, or the ACC network's primetime Saturday games, will hear the real-time discussions among the referee, the instant replay official, and the ACC's collaborative instant replay official located back at their epicenter in Charlotte.
That's cool.
That's genius.
That's awesome.
Why can't we have that on every game?
I agree. Wasn't the XFL doing that?
Yeah, and it's a simple transparency thing, right? What are the refs thinking? How did they? What is the? So now instead of having some color commentator sitting there going, all right, I've watched this from every angle. This is 100% a catch. The ruling on the field is overturned. It is not a catch. And we're actually just going to hear the referees making that decision. It's really good. On the few games when we're actually going to have it. As soon as we're done here, I'm going to check the schedule, see when local teams are playing in those specific scenarios where we will have it. Elsewhere in college football over the next few days, in the ACC, tonight, Kennesaw State at Wake Forest. That's a Wake Forest 18.5-point favorite. I'm taking Wake to cover. I think they're going to have some highlights. They got some speed out there. I don't know how many games they're going to have like a tremendous physical advantage this year. So when they do, I think they're going to pour it on. I think it's a big win for Wake. Georgia Tech at Colorado also tonight. You can hear that right here on 99.9 The Fan. I picked the Wake game. Dennis, you picked the Georgia Tech game.
Give me Georgia Tech in this one. They're 3.5-point favorites on the road. I like Haynes King a lot.
I agree, and I think spreads tend to lean towards Fame, so I think it's 3.5. It probably should be like 6.5, but Deion's more famous than Haynes King.
You also got to think of what Colorado lost.
What,
they
is
lost
Travis
Shador
Hunter good?
Sanders, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter is actually
Jr.
two good players they lost.
That's true.
They lost Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders and LaJohntay Wester and Jimmy Horn Jr. There's a lot to replace there. Syracuse at number 24 Tennessee is a big game on Saturday.
Yeah. Tennessee runs away with that one. With
Yeah.
former App State quarterback Joey Aguilar.
And former Duke running back Star Thomas. He's
Right.
I don't think he's listed as the starter, but he'll be out there getting run. So there's some local ties in that game.
Also, App State Charlotte tonight.
Also,
at Bank
App
of
State,
America.
App State Charlotte tonight.
Give me App in that one.
Yeah, App by a bundle.
Yeah. App State's fun to watch football.
Also on Saturday, Alabama, number 8 in the country, at Florida State. We already talked about it. Alabama by a bunch. LSU, 9th in the country, at Clemson. In Clemson, by the way. That's not a neutral site. Number 4 in the country, 7:30 on ABC. 7:30 on ABC on Saturday. Which one you got?
Clemson's 4.5-point favorites. I'll give the points. Give me Clemson by 9 in this one. 30-21.
The big one nationally that afternoon, actually, it's a noon game, which I think you can hear right here on 99.9 The Fan as well on Saturday. Number 1, Texas. Number 3, Ohio State. Who you got? I will pick this one also, but who do you got?
This is so tough because both teams lost so much from last year. I know the Arch Manning hype is that train is intense. This is, to me, that might be the letdown game for Ohio State coming off the national championship. Give me Texas, but Texas by 2.
I would love
23-21.
I would love a 2-point game there.
Yeah.
That's just exciting. I'm on Texas as well. I don't want to ride the bandwagon, the hype train of Arch Manning, but he has actually more experience than the Ohio State quarterback coming in.
He does.
So it's one of the few games he'll have the most experience. And you know, as they proved with the loss to Oregon and the loss to Michigan last year, it's not even going to, like, whoever loses this game is still, they're going to fall the 5th. Like, they're not going to fall the 35th. You know what I mean? It's kind of low stakes compared to back in BCS days. If you would have lost this game, you're almost eliminated.
As long as you don't look terrible. It's the only thing that matters in this game.
Clemson made the CFP last year. They got walked by Georgia at the beginning of last year.
True.
So, but quickly, we got to get through Notre Dame, Miami, Sunday night. Give me Notre Dame to win. I think Jeremiah Love has a big game. Dennis, what are you going with?
I'll go Notre Dame as well.
And I believe every other game that we really super duper care about, we will be talking about later on in the starting 5. So let's jump to number 3.
Yeah, we're getting ready to do that this afternoon to announce the starting lineups and the play times and how we'd be substituting everything. So Brandon will get that to you as soon as we get done. We want to make sure we get that out there right away.
UNC versus TCU. Monday night. There are, like, yesterday it felt like there were only a handful of games on, right? You could kind of follow all of them that were going on. There were 17 games played yesterday in FBS alone. There's 1 on Monday. All eyes on the Tar Heels. And it's funny you played that clip from Bill Belichick, right? He's joking about, I'm going to tell you the stuff that goes on in practice. I'm going to tell you the rotation. As if Bill Belichick says as if. But do you know what's actually kind of cool about TCU? Sonny Dikes, exact opposite. Media is allowed to watch full practices. Training camp scrimmages, sure, media, watch the whole thing. Write down stats if you want. Tell everybody who was the first quarterback out there. He is wide open with the media. So this is a very, oil and water style of coaching going against each other here. They don't mix. The other thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is a Belichick defense against a college quarterback. It is notorious in the NFL what Bill Belichick's defenses did to rookie and young quarterbacks. So think about it like this. TCU's quarterback, Josh Hoover, good player. Kind of a dark horse Heisman candidate, right? He's on the odds lists when you go to Heisman odds on different sports books. He's played a ton of college football. He's been a starter for a season and a half. He has 6,000 plus passing yards already. He hopes in a year or two to be an NFL rookie. Bill Belichick notoriously confuses the heck out of NFL rookies. Josh Hoover, if things go well, 2 years from now, will be experienced enough to be the quarterback that Bill Belichick used to twist into pretzels. Can he do it in college? And if he does, that's something that UNC can lean on, right? Because then it takes pressure off your offense, takes pressure off pretty much everybody else because there's a certain level of lack of production that the opposing team will have to kind of deal with because their quarterback's just seeing ghosts out there. Let's hear from Nick Saban. Nick Saban was on with Pat McAfee, Bill Belichick's old coaching buddy. Used to be on the same staff. He was asked what he expects from Belichick and UNC. This is what Saban said.
They've got 70 new players at North Carolina on their roster. Bill is a great coach. He's a great teacher, and he's great at developing players. So if you have that many new players, you really don't have a chance to develop them. So, my expectation is it's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, and he's going to make all these players better, and they're going to benefit and create more value for their future because of Bill, but it's going to take a little time. So, and I think everybody should understand that.
Do you know what I would have asked Nick Saban? What if you were the coach? Would you be giving all those pre-excuses, all those preemptive excuses? Or would you be saying 70 new players, that means we got to work twice as hard to develop them all. And there's no excuses when we get out there. I think that's how Belichick's thinking.
Score prediction.
Ooh, score prediction. I think TCU wins. I said this when we did the win-loss predictions earlier in the week. I think UNC has a favorable schedule. I think they will get better as the year goes along. I think they can end with a solid win total. I think I went with 8 games. But I don't think they win against TCU. I don't think it'll be super high scoring. 28-21. What about you?
I'm with you on TCU winning. I'm going to go 30-17.
Okay. Less close.
I think there might be a late TCU score. It might be a 23-17. TCU gets one late to extend the lead.
TCU finished last year really strong. Mm-hmm. They had a real lull between the Max Duggan year where they went to the national championship and got smoked. Then they were down for a while till about halfway through last year. They woke up. They were 3-3, and they finished, I think, 9-4. So what's that? Finishing 6-1. That's a real run there.
They lost 2 games at least last year, if I remember correctly, where they scored at least 33 or 34 points.
But you know what else they lost? And I know this because I'm a Dynasty fantasy football nerd.
What's that?
They lost Jack Besh, and they lost Savion Williams, who were a 2nd and a 3rd round pick, both at wide receiver. So they're going to be looking for some playmakers elsewhere. Apparently they still do. People are still high on their playmakers. But that's a 2nd and a 3rd round pick lost from the same college offense is tough to replace. That is number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2 of us. Yerk to punt. Gets it away. Brown will have a chance to return this one from the 22-yard line on the left side of the field, angling right. He's got a wall across the 35 and 40. Brown is loose. One man to beat. Down the right sideline. Quayshawn Brown takes it all the way home for the touchdown.
Duke beat Elon 45-17 last night to open up their season. If there's one thing I want you to take away from our conversations about Duke and Elon, is that 45-17, the final score, does not tell the story. In the fourth quarter, it was 24-17. And even crazier, Darien Mensah, the quarterback for Duke, had thrown for 383 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions prior to. So at that point, early in the fourth quarter, it was 24-17, and those were his stats at the time. 383 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would complete one more pass for the rest of the game. A 6-yard touchdown to Higgins, Samir Higgins. That's it. And they won 45-17. So for the 3+ quarters of it, it was a game. And it was a game even with Mensah lighting up the pass defense of Elon. Some things like the punt return you just heard, there was a long touchdown, or a long not touchdown run. He got hawked from behind. But a long Anderson Castle run. There was some other kind of surprising events that led to it being a blowout, but it was closer than you'd think. And we're going to hear from somebody that was a main character in that one. Vincent Anthony Jr., a Durham native, a defensive edge, an edge rusher, defensive end for Duke, had a sack, a couple of TFLs, pass breakup, all in the game yesterday. He's going to join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline in about 10 minutes. So we'll save the rest of our Elon Duke breakdown for when we have one of the Duke Blue Devils on the phone line. Let's get to number one.
The one! Play fake now after the snap. Rifles it right seam in stride. Grimes has it. 5 touchdown. 48 yards. There's a laser from C.J. Bailey right on the mark. And Wesley Grimes pulls it in for a 16-0 Pack lead.
NC State beat ECU last night. This is one of those. I need to come up with a name for it. But NC State beat ECU last night. The more words you use to describe the game, the more frustrating it gets for NC State fans. Right? Did you see who won the game? Yeah, NC State did. Short words, State fans are happy. But let's add another sentence. NC State beat ECU, and the final score was 24-17. Ooh, what? Let's add another sentence. NC State beat ECU last night. The final score was 24-17, and State was up 17-0 at one point in the game. Right? The more and more you add, the more and more frustrating it gets. NC State won the game. Final score was 24-17. They were up 17-0 at half, and multiple times throughout the game, they had opportunities to slam the door. They looked like the more talented team. They had pretty good performances from their quarterback, a couple of receivers. ECU couldn't run the ball worth a darn on them. And still, ECU had the ball, down 7, 1st and 10, going in on NC State's 18-yard line with a couple of minutes left in the game, where if they scored, they would either tie it with an extra point or go for 2. After the game, ECU's coach, Blake Harrell, said they were going to go for 2 in the win. And the more and more you talk about it, the more and more frustrated you're going to get. Hollywood Smothers looked really good. He actually had a big run called back on penalty. He actually was a missed tackle, one broken tackle away from huge runs a few times. He had already broken a couple tackles just to get to that point because the offensive line wasn't run blocking the way it should.
I think it was like second play of the game. You and I were like, oh, man, if he slips through that one tackle, that shoestring tackle, he's gone.
C.J. Bailey looked really good. He also took a pretty bad sack and threw a pretty bad interception right before half. But he looks so talented. Yeah, he absolutely does. Threw for 300-something yards. Also ran for a touchdown. There's a lot. Also, Caden Hauser threw for 366. There's a lot to like. There's also a lot to be frustrated by. And State fans, which we heard from a bunch of them during our Friday Soundoff earlier today, and you know, you can't really walk 2 steps on Twitter without hearing from one of them. They're frustrated because of the deja vu feeling they're going through right now. Right? Fans do the fans thing, which is talk yourself into this year is going to be different. This is the year where State isn't going to tighten up and press once they get a lead. This is the year they're going to have the killer instinct, and a 17-point lead is going to grow into a 30-point lead. This is the year. And then you go into game 1 against ECU, a team that, quite frankly, it's not acceptable if you lose some of your edge, right? If you lose some of your focus. Last year against Western Carolina, overmatched FCS opponent. Oh, you started looking towards Tennessee, whatever. ECU has your full attention. They beat you in the last game that you played, the bowl game. Yet it felt so darn similar to other collapses that State has had in the past. Second and third quarters. They played well in the first quarter. You started off well, and I thought that was key, right? You had to make a statement that this year, this game was different than the end of last year, different than the bowl game. And I thought the first quarter did that. They put up the fence, right? There was no carryover momentum from the Military Bowl to the opener. And then the second quarter came, and State just was neutral. They were treading water rather than landing those knockout blows. Like a boxer that wanted it to go the distance, wasn't hunting the knockout. And I don't know if State fans are ever going to be it's you know, you have to absolutely shred your opponent for State fans to feel any kind of comfort at this point. A 17-point lead against a non-power conference opponent, you should be able to feel. You should be able to relax. You should be able to start having some conversations with your buddies and not be super tense. But it's not going to happen with State. I'd probably put 30. That's the number. If you're up 30, you might hear some exhales across Carter Finley Stadium. And Dennis is shaking his head with eyebrows up like, not 30.
I'm not even a State fan, and I will say this.
75.
There are plenty of State fans that will look and go 30 and go, I don't know.
75 points. That's the only way it's going to happen. Wesley Grimes had a really good game, wide receiver. Teddy Hoffman, the freshman wide receiver, had a really good game. Hollywood Smothers, even though his yards per carry and things don't look great, I'm telling you, he showed that he's a really good player. CJ Bailey had a pretty good game. And you beat ECU by 7. Is that an issue? A lot of guys played well, and you beat them by 7. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have the numbers game coming up, but we're going to push it back a little bit because Vincent Anthony Jr., VJ, from the Duke defense that held Elon to 17 points yesterday, is going to join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. He has an event coming up that he's going to tell us all about, and we're going to get some insight into that Duke defense. Stick around.
Tonight on Compass Media Network's coverage of NCAA football, it's a cross-conference showdown from the Rocky Mountain State as Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes host the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Hi, this is Tim Cates. Join Greg Daniels and Chad Brown for all the action as the Buffaloes and Yellow Jackets battle it out for their first win of the season. It's Colorado hosting Georgia Tech. If it's NCAA football, it's right here.
Kickoff at 8. On 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle's home for college football.
Things today can seem kind of unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive the guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Folks, if you have struggled with your weight like I have over the last few years, you definitely need to listen to this. I can proudly say that I have lost over 25 pounds in the last 4 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. That's real talk. Over 25 pounds in 4 weeks thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. It's not just the weight that's come off. My body fat percentage has dropped. I'm sleeping better at night. My resting heart rate is the best it's been since I was back in college. That's how good things have gotten thanks to the weight I've lost, thanks to Raleigh Weight Loss Center. And you can also be part of that as well. No shots, no injections, no side effects, just your body resetting its metabolism and doing the natural thing. And Raleigh Weight Loss Center right now is having a huge end of summer offering, up to 20% off now through August 29th with the lowest prices of the year on the amazing Raleigh Weight Loss program. Schedule your free consultation by calling 919-897-7506. That's 919-897-7506 or online at RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Duke football's Vincent VJ Anthony Jr. is hosting Bull City Community Day, a celebration of service, love, and Durham pride. He is a Durham native. Jordan High School, I believe. He is doing that tomorrow. He is the host tomorrow, Saturday, where they're giving back, planting seeds of hope, connection, and compassion in the city that raised him. And he also joins us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Vincent, welcome to the show. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. I can. Thank you for bringing me on.
Of course. Let's get some of the important details right at the top here. Tell us a bit about the community day that you're hosting, what the goals are, and how people can participate.
So tomorrow will be VJ's community day of service, community drive. And so basically we picked 7 foundations because I wear the number 7. So we picked 7 foundations people can donate to. If you go on my Instagram at @1VJ_, the post is up there and the link is in the bio where you can press, and it's an Amazon link where you can go and pick out the items you want to donate, or you can come tomorrow with that address. It's at DSSI Sports off of Irwin Road on Duke's campus. Come between 9 and 1 and drop out back-to-school supplies, toiletries, soap, anything that you want to. We'll be there collecting items from 9 to 1, and we'll have games, food, just stuff for the community.
There you go. That's Duke's Vincent Anthony Jr. Hosting Bull City Community Day. You just heard the details there, and check him out on Instagram. VJ, we'll check back in with those details before we finish up here, but I want to talk some football.
Let's talk.
There you go. Junior defensive end, 6 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs, tackles for loss, a pass defensed as your Blue Devils beat Elon 45-17 to open the season last night. Are you happy with the way the game went last night?
Oh, yes, sir. For sure. We came out with the win. Of course, we just got out meetings just a couple minutes ago, just fixing the stuff we needed to fix, get ready for the big game next week against Illinois.
What's the feeling on the sidelines when it's 24-17 in the fourth quarter and you're playing, an in-state FCS opponent who obviously you wanted to kind of beat handily?
Right. It's just first game, really getting the first game jitters out, just having guys locked back in to their fundamentals. But other than that, once my guys locked back into the fundamentals and just got those first game nervousness out the way, then we really started to play some real ball.
You're a player with a lot of experience at Duke. What's the difference for like a Manny Diaz defense going into year 2 rather than last year when everything was happening for the first time?
Really just getting comfortable within the defense. Now that comfortability has been set, guys get to play free. Since we're used to the defense, and just get to play free and just go forward and be physical.
We're talking with Vincent Anthony Jr., member of the Duke defense, following their win over Elon last night on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. VJ, what was Coach Diaz's message post game when you gathered up in the locker room? What information was he giving you after the game?
Post game, really just telling how just being resilient. We know getting wins in college football, no matter who you play, it's gonna be tough. But we stayed the course, being resilient, did our job, and we came out to win. We just gotta fix. There's always something to fix. So just fix what we have to fix and move on.
Your new quarterback, Darien Mensah, he threw for almost 400 yards last night. You see him every day in practice, obviously during training camps and scrimmages and things. Is that what you expected from Darien?
Oh, yes, sir. Just going up against Darien in practice, he's a great player. I like to put the pressure on him just so I know he can go out there and perform. And so he performed in practice, and so I knew he was going to go out there in the game to perform, and just looking for him to perform, each and every game, week in and week out.
We've talked with him a few times, and he's very professional with the media, right? He's very, he's on message with what Coach Diaz is saying. As a defensive player, do you guys get into it on the practice field? Does he open up that personality with some trash talk?
Oh, no, for sure, because if he does it, then I'm going to force it out of him. You know what I'm saying? Just being on the defense, just having that mindset. And every time I've challenged him, he stepped up to the plate and challenged me back. So that's how I know he was going to be a tough player, a good player.
Vincent Anthony Jr. connecting with us here. He had 6 tackles, a sack, 2 TFLs, and a pass defense as Duke beat Elon 45-17 last night. VJ, I want to focus in on that sack. Early in the game, first quarter, you get the quarterback on the ground. The celebration, I've described it. I went back and watched it and wrote down the different sections of it. It's kind of like there was a lasso element, there was a head shake, maybe a breaststroke, a little swim, cleared out move, and then you finished it up with an eating motion, like you were gobbling up some soup or something. What's the thought process behind that? How do you end up with that particular dance?
So really just try to stay hip with the young folks. This is young folks. This has been a TikTok generation. So I know that's what the fans love to see. So just doing what they do on a regular day basis, just bringing that live to the field. That's what I try to tend to do. But there's each week, each play, there's gonna be a different celebration. I might bring it back old school next week and do a little something. So that was for the young folks, the young people, young generation.
Listen, I know you've played a lot of college football. When you say young folks, what age bracket are you describing? I understand you're maybe an upperclassman, but how young is young folks to you?
Young is young, but it's really people my age. Really people my age,
Right.
people in high school, middle school, even the kids in elementary school. As long as they can see me, relate to them and stuff like that, they'll come out and support. Just making the game exciting, just making it entertaining. That's what I love to do, put smile on people's faces.
Okay, good. At least you're including yourself in young folks. You're about to make me feel real old if you weren't in the young folks category.
No, sir.
The other thing I noticed because I went to watch the celebration because I wanted to get the story behind it. Well, actually, I should ask this: do you have it planned for next week yet? Like your next sack, is it already filed away?
Oh, no, it's for sure already in files. Yeah, I feel like you got to practice every aspect of the game. And so, the celebration is just as important as just lining up, putting your hand down on the ball and getting the play call. So just practicing your whole aspect of the game. So, yeah, it's already planned out. I already know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? I keep that tucked away, a little secret until next week.
Oh, you can let us. We're friends here. We're good friends. You can let us in on the secret.
I feel you. Yeah, sometimes I feel like I like to call myself a magician. So, magicians can't tell their tricks. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? That's a fantastic answer. I just got one-upped in the conversation right there. You win that one, so we'll move on to the next. But while I was watching the celebration, I did notice, I believe you had an Omega brand on your stomach there. It looked like the Omega Sci-Fi brand, and you had the shirt tucked up. Is that intentional to show off your if I am reading this correctly, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But is that intentional to show off the fraternity loyalty you have there on your stomach?
Oh, for sure. That's just to show, how the fraternity is just, it's a huge part in my life. The Big Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated is just a huge part of my life and my family's life. So just shouting them out is just in a different way. So, people can see that, the men of Omega, they do great things in the classroom, community, and on the field.
We're talking with Vincent Anthony Jr., VJ of the Duke football team, junior defensive end. After game one, you win by a bunch of points. It was a little tighter than many expected until the end there. But you win, you get the statement victory. You're going into Illinois next week. Have you started looking at the number 11 Illini yet?
Oh, yes, sir. That film has already started. I got my notes on them just to start out first and second down, and that's just going to build throughout the weekend. It's for next week, so I'm coming prepared.
What's the next level for this Duke team, right? The last 3 years, there's been 8 wins, 9 wins every year. How do you take that next step?
Taking that next step is really just building off of week one and going into week two and having a great week. And just taking each week, each day at a time so we can get to that ACC championship played in Charlotte and then get into that college football playoffs, making a run at the national championship.
National championship. I like somebody that's willing to say the big goals out loud. Vincent, real quick here, I will run through some more of the details for your community day, and then I'll give you a chance to fill in any gaps that I miss. VJ is hosting Bull City Community Day. Vincent Anthony Jr. will host Bull City Community Day, a celebration of service, love, Durham pride. He is obviously, as we've been talking about, one of the accomplished members of the Duke defense. The event will be held August 30th. That is tomorrow at the Duke Sports Science Institute. where there's a powerful day of impact and unity. You can show up and give donations of school supplies. There will be entertainment activities, resources for all ages, obviously opportunities for kids to connect with the athletes, mentors, and role models, special guests, which you'll have to stick around to find or show up to find out, and support for local organizations, 7 of them specifically in honor of VJ's jersey number. It's all at the Duke Sports Science Institute, Durham, North Carolina, tomorrow, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Admission is free and open to the public. VJ, did I miss anything?
No, sir, you didn't miss anything. Just people of the RDU community, I would truly appreciate if y'all come out and show some love. And this isn't just the last community service being planned. Hopefully, this is gonna be a every year thing, and we gonna have some more stuff come up to do in the community that I would love to do. So just stick with me. But come out today, like he said. Come out today. Well, not today. Tomorrow from 9 to 1. We're going to have family there, fun, just the whole RDU community, and just giving back to the community. Community is huge. I wouldn't be able to do this just without God and the family, leading the way and planning this for me and just sticking this throughout with me. So if you guys come along and be a part of the journey, be a part of the family, and let's go to the top with serving the community.
Vincent, we appreciate you and for joining us, and good luck the rest of this year.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Once again, that is Vincent Anthony Jr. on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. And if you missed any of those details for his community day, which is tomorrow, as he said earlier, you can go to his Instagram. He has posted the details in a Instagram post. His Instagram is at @the1VJ_. I believe that's 2 underscores there. Or you could do what I do. Just go on Instagram and search Vincent Anthony, and it pops right up. There's always that option as well. But how cool is that? He gets a Thursday night game. Most college athletes are thinking, sweet, a weekend off. He's thinking, I got a Saturday off. Let's throw a community day and raise donations of school supplies for those in need. That's a little different than a lot of college kids are thinking out there.
You'd be shocked. I think there's a little bit of misperception when it comes to college athletes and what they do with the money and the platform that they have.
There's a great article on The Athletic of what kids are doing with their athletic, with their NIL money. There's a lot of philanthropy, and there's a lot of taking care of family. There's a lot of getting parents into better situations and everything else, in addition to a bunch of philanthropic efforts. And then, yes, some nice cars and a watch here or there, some shoes, tattoos. Like, there's some other things as well, but a lot of good being done also. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do need some numbers game contestants. And also, I need to tell you about DraftKings Sportsbook. So be ready to call in for the numbers game and be ready to potentially make yourself some money on DraftKings Sportsbook. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun because college football is back. Every time I say is back, I want to go is back, folks. College football is back, folks. Think you know the game? Put your knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big old fat payouts. With live betting, rivalry week odds boosts, and more, DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to own every Saturday. If you're looking at tonight's game, Wake Forest, 18.5-point favorites over Kennesaw State. I predicted earlier that Claiborne might get one in the return game. If that happens, 18.5 probably feels pretty comfortable. Lines and odds are subject to change. And on top of all of that, got something special for the first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD. No spaces. For new customers at sign up, and you will get $300 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Numbers game contestants. Cruising along here on Friday. We have a $30 gift card to Alpaca Chicken, legendary flavor, hometown pride, going to one of you that wins the numbers game. We need 2 contestants to play. If you want to play, call in now, 919-860-5326. Again, that number, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game. Coming up next.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone, available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 Bird Dogs for just $5 or 2 Bird Dog Combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
It's time to play the numbers game. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. A little later than usual, so we're going to jump right into it. We have a Alpaca Chicken $30 gift card going to either Edward in Wendell or Micah in Morrisville. 2 of our more loyal callers going to battle it out here. We'll start with a question to see who goes first. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person leads off. Edward in Wendell, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. The question on Friday is usually the same. We're looking at the weekend. What are you looking forward to most? But remember, we're a sports show, so you got to keep it sports related.
Probably gonna play golf on Sunday, and also college football's back, and also kicking my friend's butt in fantasy football.
All right, so it's a 3-parter. He's on the golf course. He's watching college football. He's playing fantasy football and kicking his buddy's butt. That brings us to Micah in Morrisville. Micah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Same question to you. What are you looking forward to most about this weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure it's sports related.
I would say the App State game in a couple hours to kick off their season with the in-state W.
All right, App State, UNC Charlotte. Dennis, which answer are you rolling with?
This is actually a tough one. I love the in-state matchup, App State Charlotte. But here's the thing: Edward is talking trash to his friends on the on air. His friend's not even here to defend himself. He's also playing golf this beautiful weekend. Just college football as a whole. This is a tough one. I'm going to go. Just the fact that he's calling out his friends on air, I'm going to go Edward in this one.
All right, Edward and Wendell, you get to go first. Edward, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have NFL players born in Iowa. We have NFL players with late August birthdays. We have NBA players with weird nicknames. Or we have NHL players, hurricanes throughout history.
NFL players born in August.
All right, these are specifically late August birthdays. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona Cardinals.
82.
Incorrect. Allen Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars.
34.
Incorrect. Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona Cardinals.
17.
Incorrect. Allen Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks.
82.
Incorrect. Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona Cardinals.
16.
Incorrect. Allen Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars.
75.
Incorrect. Sean Alexander, Seattle Seahawks.
19.
Incorrect. Larry Fitzgerald, Arizona Cardinals.
17.
Incorrect. Allen Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh.
Edward, when you play the game, you make me feel so old because like Allen Robinson feels like he was on the Jags like yesterday, but it was probably too long ago for you to have watched many of his games. Larry Fitzgerald, number 11. So you were close. You were in the teens there. 17 kind of looks the same. Allen Robinson, 15 was the number we were looking for. Sean Alexander, who at one point owned the single-season rushing touchdowns record, 37, the number he wore with the Seattle Seahawks. You didn't get any. That's a 0. But you have a chance to win because tie goes to whoever goes first. Edward, I got one more question for you, though. You ready to answer one?
Yes.
What's the team name for your fantasy team?
I forgot, actually. Hold on.
All right. I was just seeing if you struck me as somebody that might have something clever. If anyone has a really good name for Edward, send it in quickly on YouTube live stream or Twitter, and we'll pass it along to him on air. Micah in Morrisville, are you ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. You got to pick a category. We have NFL players born in Iowa. We have NBA players with weird nicknames, or we have NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
Canes one.
All right, you're rolling with the Canes. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. I will say the team name in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other contestant. You do need at least one for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jackson Blake, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Correct. Sean Walker, Carolina Hurricanes.
26.
Correct. Sean Hill, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
7. Let's go.
Correct. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
Skip.
Sean Hill, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
14.
Incorrect. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
5.
Incorrect. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
9.
Incorrect. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Mike Zigomanis, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Mike.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a hard name to make me say over and over and over again, Micah.
I don't even know.
We were looking for 18 or 46 was the numbers we were looking for. Micah, you are the winner, so I'll ask you the same question. What's your fantasy football team's name?
It's well.
Make sure you can say it on radio. Make sure you can say
Yeah. The one I can say is Bryce Upson for Bryce Young. Let's go.
All right. Hey, that's very appropriate. You are the winner. You get the Alpaca Chicken gift card, $30. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info that he needs to get. But congratulations, Micah.
Thanks.
Obviously. That means Edward's not the winner, but solid showing. Good effort. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That might be all next week, by the way. All right, because we play the numbers game every day about the same time, 5:30. Just so everybody can prepare, the question to see who goes first might have to be, what's your fantasy football team name? It's hard to get a good one. I'm in 5 or 6 leagues, and I don't know if I have any good fantasy football names. Some of them have been their legacies, been there for years. But if you have a good one, I'd love to hear it. I love hearing funny or clever or whatever, meaningful fantasy football team names. Probably spend too much time thinking about it. But if you want to send them to me, at Donnelly Sports on Twitter, get them to us in our YouTube live stream. If you think they're entertaining enough, we'd like to hear them. Solid fantasy football team names. Can we come up with one with for Edward real quick? Edward, is there a good fantasy team name for Edward? I'm trying to think. Something with Wendell, Edward and Wendell. Not much there. Not my creative juices are not flowing right now, so I don't have anything for you. Edward and Wendell. Gus Edwards? Trent Edwards? Eddie George? Edward George? He probably doesn't even know who that is. He's too old. I don't know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So over the weekend, we have tonight Georgia Tech and Colorado. We'll be right here on 99.9 The Fan as far as play-by-play goes. Tomorrow, there's Ohio State, Texas right here on our network. There's what I believe the Clemson game is here. Clemson, Miami. Is that one?
I believe we have that one as well. We have Georgia Tech tonight against Colorado.
On Sunday, we have Virginia Tech, South Carolina.
We do have that game. Monday night, we have North Carolina TCU on the fan as well.
So despite the fact that I should have all this written down in front of me and I failed to do so, just know there's a ton of college football play. It's a great weekend of college football, and 99.9 The Fan does everything we possibly can to get you as many games, play-by-play coverage on our air as possible, local teams and the biggest games across the country. So if you're in your car, you're buzzing around, you're doing things this weekend, you're going to your buddy's house, to the bar, to wherever to watch games, and you want to keep up to date on the scores, 99.9 The Fan's the spot to do it. We do not have a show on Monday for Labor Day, but we will on Tuesday, which will obviously have a lot to do with reacting to games over the weekend, including UNC TCU on Monday night.
We got to bring back the podium.
We do have to bring back the podium. Do you think State, Duke, UNC, Wake, who ends up gold, silver, bronze for the weekend's actions? You'll have to tune in on Tuesday to find out. The Drive, Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Follow us on YouTube as well. Subscribe on YouTube, I should say. Tell your friends about all the content. That's awesome. And enjoy your weekend, everybody. Should be pretty nice weather, a lot of football. Until Tuesday, have a great holiday weekend, everybody.
The Adam Gold Show.
We're going to find out if strength of schedule really matters in college football based on what Penn State and some of the other national contenders in that league are doing or not doing. And then you look at what Miami is doing, what Clemson is doing, as the ACC, really to their own detriment, always seems to play too difficult